Man these shields, boys! Remember this day, men, for it will be yours for all time.
Welcome to the Night Zone, hear the warriors speak. Life's the battlefield and we ain't feeling weak. From love to the game and the power we seek. Our voice is strong, breaking every peak. Talk of love and battle scars, everything that's real. From touchdown to sermon, you know the deal. Strength in every word we begin to reveal. Truth in every tale as our lives we unveil. Talk of love and battle scars, everything that's real. From touchdown to sermon, you know the deal. Strength in every word we begin to reveal. Truth in every tale as our lives we unveil. Protect and provide, we're knights in the fray. Nothing off limits, we got something to say. Life and love, fitness and fight all day. Guys Night Podcast, let's ride the wave. Politics and prayers, ain't no subject we shun. Keep it real, keep it raw till the battle's won. Fitness tips to faith, every topic under the sun. With honor and valor, every man's battle begun. Warriors with words, swords through the air. Every point sharp and every talk fair. Knights at the round table, come and pull up a chair. Join the brotherhood, words laid bare. Protect and provide, we're knights in the fray. Nothing off limits, we got something to say. Life and love, fitness and fight all day. Guys Night Podcast, let's ride the wave. Warriors with words, swords through the air. Every point sharp and every talk fair. Knights at the round table, come and pull up a chair. Join the brotherhood, words laid bare. Protect and provide, we're knights in the fray. Nothing off limits, we got something to say. Life and love, fitness.
Let's redo that.
You put Nick right in the middle.
Remix.
Yeah, I think you should slap that and give it a little slap again.
Yeah, you want to do it again? Like,
Yep.
getting those cheeks.
Yeah, that ass clap.
Greetings, everybody. Welcome to the Guys Night Podcast. I am Will McEwen, and I am here tonight joined by Evan, Nick, and David. Say hello, gentlemen.
What's going on, guys?
What's happening?
What up, motherfuckers?
Wow, way to get us
Oh,
fucking
wow. Come on,
muted in
David.
fucking 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Shit. Wow, so hey, a lot going on, but we were having an interesting conversation before this, and I think we should kind of continue it. One of the things that we've had some conversations, especially David and I, about like trying to grow this podcast and like how hard it is to really grow organically on when you don't have anything that's already preset. Like none of us are famous for doing anything. None of us have millions of followers because we're on TV or because we're this or that. We're just a bunch of guys that are just getting around a table and just kind of talking. And you expect like friends, family to kind of support you. Like, hey, just hit a like once in a while. Make sure you subscribe to the channel or follow us here or whatever. If you see something once in a while, just hit the share button. But it is very far. It is the people that I frankly have had on the show that have done more, like yourself, Nick. You've shared a bunch of stuff. You and I started doing something on the side with the workouts on the warehouse. Craig, who let us use his gym and set up there. Dayon's done some live episodes with us, but also like had me out his gym to work out and make sure that he shares it and lets a lot of people know. Like I go to the Iron, what is it?
Old School Iron.
Yeah, Old School Iron. The flyer that Evan put up is up there, and guys like recognize me and are like, "Dude, I watch your guys' podcast." But we were talking about getting defriended.
Oh my god.
They either love you or hate you, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's funny, but you don't realize that until someone. Usually, I'm like, I don't even notice if somebody's not my friend. Especially on social media or anything. Like, I don't follow my count every day. I don't see like. If somebody suddenly disappears from my timeline, it's usually because something I've been interested in is just filling it up with other shit and ads and whatever. But you recently noticed, David, that you had a couple of people just fucking disappear off you. Was it a surprise to you?
we should have had that one John Cena meme that shows up, like, you know, that surprised look on your face when you notice that, you know, somebody you thought was, you know, close friend and they're just suddenly gone forever. But yeah, I mean, I have thousands upon thousands of friends, and I've got a few different pages in multiple, all of the platforms. And so I don't really watch that closely, but, you know, when I do find it is, you know, when our friends, we're all pretty social and active, and we'll use social media to create our evites. And then, you know, of course, like anybody else, you get invited to something. You're like, oh, well, let's see who else is going.
Yeah.
You know, and then so you go through, and when you're looking at that, and it's, you know, I think Facebook is, you know, they're intentionally designed it that way so that, you know, you can look, but you can very quickly tell because it'll give you the little add friend. And so, you know, when you're going through and you're looking at these lists, and then you see, you know, oh shit, so-and-so, and then you click, and it's like you see the add friend button, and it's like, oh man, they got me.
Yeah.
Like,
When did we not become friends? I don't know what happened.
yeah. I don't know. You know, I and we were driving, and I know I brought that up, and I know you're absolutely the type of person where you're just like, I mean, you know, it's like you got a million other things, and I'm usually that way too, but at the same time, I always just stop, and, you know, I kind of do the head twist goes this way, and I kind of stop and think, it's like, well, is it something I said? Is it something I did? Like, you know, you know, did I fart inappropriately? Like, how did I lose these people? What happened here? You know, and if it's somebody you're just a Facebook friend and they disappear, you know, whatever. But it's a little different. Like if it's somebody who's been to your house, who's, you know, had a meal at your table, and like, you know, something so egregious they have to break social media friendship with you without even coming and talking to you and saying, hey, we're not friends anymore because of this. It's just like, no, I'm just going to unfriend you and go away.
Well, you know, I think one thing too, like with this podcast in particular, is we talk about a lot of controversial shit, right? Like that's what people want to hear about. They want to hear opinions, whether you agree with it or don't. That's okay. But I couldn't imagine someone telling me like, oh man, you know, I believe this thing, you know, whatever this thing is, even if I'm to the core don't believe in it, and be like,
Right.
oh, I don't ever want to talk to you again. We can't be friends on social media. Like, I just think you're an idiot. That's fine. You know, whatever. Like, you're a dumbass.
Like you and I
but-
don't. You might be somebody I enjoy working out with, or you might be someone I'll catch a beer and watch a Browns game with. But when it comes to this, you're a fucking idiot. But that's okay.
That's okay. Yeah.
I'm sure I'm an idiot about something too.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Me too. Yeah.
I didn't hit record on one of the fucking podcasts.
Fucking
'cause I was a
moron.
fucking moron. Exactly.
Well, and I think too, like certain men, like you know, we've all worked in the blue collar trades and stuff, and like what a lot of more masculine men do is we fuck with each other all the time, and we're like, it doesn't hurt my feelings if you pick on me, you know, and vice versa, right? But a lot of these more feminine men that are out there now, they get their feelings all butthurt because you made fun of something that they like. Oh, they didn't like Journey, and Journey's my favorite band, and so now I'm not going to be friends with them anymore. It's like, dude, who's a fuck about Journey?
Well, I also think it's also generations of the kids too.
Yeah.
Like our generation from 90s and under, like 1989, 1980s. Those are the generations I think that are like us. Like we're the ones that like if you get hurt, rub some dirt in it, keep going.
Yeah, maybe it's how they how that's like an appropriate response. So think about it. Okay, when we grew up, if you said something to me I didn't like it, I'd go to at recess. Well, I'm like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah.
Let's you know, we're have this out now.
Yeah.
Now, but nowadays everything's done on the internet. So maybe like their way of retaliating is like, oh, I'm gonna unfriend you. Like,
Well, I think that it's funny you said that
You know what I
too,
mean?
because I definitely think that's a difference in, like, you know, like I always associate myself with Generation X. Like I'm before the millennial generation, even though like technically I think it's like starts at like 81 or
You're like
something.
right on that cusp.
Yeah. And it's like, yeah, but at the same point in time, like I didn't grow up in high school with technology. Like I got my first cell phone before I left for the army at 17 years old. So like I went through high school like where fucking people talk shit about you. Okay, whatever. If you don't like me, then fucking okay. It's not gonna fucking ruin my fucking day. But now it's funny because my daughter, even when she would talk about it, like people would start rumors about like your boyfriend cheating on you in high school, your girlfriend cheating on you in high school from a different school that doesn't even fucking know you. But because they can be friends with your friends on Snapchat and all this other shit, like they could literally just fucking randomly send you a Snapchat and be like, your boyfriend was at my house last night. And like fucking what? Like that
probably
shit.
Photoshop their ass in there too.
Yeah, when I was there, it was like in high school, like dating with somebody from a different school was like such a big deal. Like, oh, you're dating somebody from Wadsworth, dude. That's like 20 minutes away. How do you hang out?
Yeah.
Like, does your parents drive you 20 minutes
ride
away?
my bike.
Do a lot of shit for some
Fucking
pussy, man. Right
midnight
now.
fucking pedaling like 6 miles, like fuck it. But it's so funny because now like they have that access to each other like immediately, and like you, I mean, shoot, if you could just visit a place like the Medina Skateland, like. If you say that you were there, every kid that's gone there in the last freaking whatever can look you up and see that you were there. You tagged yourself and like boom, just like that, they're fucking with you. It's like,
Well, the way shit is now too is like there's no repercussions for anything that you say anymore. Like when we were kids, if you ran your mouth, you got your ass kicked or whatever. You know what I mean?
yeah. Then that usually became your best friend.
Yeah, then you're cool after that. Yeah, it's funny how it works. Yeah, it was actually great. There was probably less like arguments back then because it just got settled right away, and
Yeah,
then usually
much
became
so.
friends. But nowadays, you can't stand up for yourself, so somebody can fuck with you. Like whatever. Go online, make an account, say you're gay, whatever. Blah, blah.
Behind your back, all that stuff.
Yeah, and you can't go to them and call them out on it because there's no repercussions. You can't hurt them. Oh, well, these are just words. Well, sometimes you should stand behind your words.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
I think that's a big problem.
Oh, I agree. There's a lot of people that should get their ass kicked.
Yeah, some people need an ass
Yeah,
kicking.
yeah.
I've had times needed my ass kicked. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
definitely. I've definitely said shit, and but it's funny because one of the things that like, even my wife she'll like be like, you shouldn't say it like that, and I'm like, I don't know how else to say it. Like that's who I am. Like if somebody doesn't want to be my friend because I tell them they're being a fucking idiot or they're being a crybaby about something, like. If they don't know that's who I am, then they're not my fucking friend. Like that's fine. I'll find another friend, or you know what? Fuck it, I'll find another hobby.
Yeah,
100%.
yeah.
But it's very rare that you find people that are like that now. Everybody wants to focus on. I'll give you a perfect example. So we started. This happened Halloween. We were. I was there the week before Halloween at my buddy's house, and we were there having a big Halloween party. And they had like one of these little 3-foot statues in front of their like garden area. It was like I don't know. I think it was like a jockey or something, like a yard jockey or whatever.
Those are racist now.
Yeah, I'm sure they are. Little fucking short people.
I think they're
You got
awesome.
short people in your front yard.
No, they're black usually. That's why. I mean, it's so stupid.
Oh,
Fuck.
I don't even know.
Dude, everybody. Yeah, supposedly those are supposedly racist now. So, which is ridiculous.
Really?
Yeah,
Well-
dude.
Well, this
Either-
one is white, I'm pretty sure,
Is it a
right?
white
Oh,
jockey?
oh,
Okay,
well,
good.
that's
Yeah,
Maybe.
that's a non-racist one. So that's okay. It's fine.
So my wife sees it and she goes, we should get a dildo or strap on and fucking put it on there for their party.
That's funny.
I was like, that's a great fucking idea. Like she ordered it and it was here in fucking 24 hours. Thanks, Amazon. So we put this dildo on there, or this fucking, it's a strap on, let me be clear. And then I fucking super taped it up there. So there was no way it was going. And we didn't tell anybody. This was like, it was during their Halloween party. So, the Halloween party's in the backyard in the barn. So like 5 days later, all of a sudden, my wife gets a Snapchat of her going, "Who put a fucking dildo on our fucking?" So then, like, he took it, and I think from there he put it. Actually, I think he put it on yours, didn't he?
Went to my truck after that.
Yeah, the strap on went to your truck, and then it went to Evan's car.
Yep.
And fucking Evan just happened to have to stop and get gas. His gas tank is on the other side of the car, and he just happened to see it like 5 seconds after it happened. So then he put it. You guys both put it on Ed's work truck. Our friend Ed.
Should I show the video? I still have the video.
So Ed sends us, like Ed says he didn't get mad about it. Well, he said he was mad about it, and then he wasn't mad about it. He's like, could you imagine if I showed up to a work like that? And he sells. He works for.
No names.
Yeah,
Maybe
he works
not.
for a company that rents equipment out to fucking like construction sites, oil sites, things like that. So he's like, could you imagine if I showed up, what they would think? And I was like, dude, if you told them the fucking story that you and your
They'd probably
buddies,
laugh.
they would
Yeah.
fucking think you were the man. They'd be like, that's some funny shit,
Yeah.
dude. And then the next week when you show up on the job site, you could have brought him dildos and said, go get them, guys. Like, it would have been fucking hilarious. But he was so concerned about what they would think of him that he didn't even see that part of it. You know what I mean? And it's like, dude, you don't mess up a good thing. Like, this is just funny fucking banter that fucking guys do. And I think a lot of that depends on like we talked about, generation you grew up in, how your house was. And then I spent 5 years in the Army right after fucking high school. Like, you don't have a fucking choice but to get fucked with. You get fucked with by your NCOs during basic and AIT. You get to your fucking unit, you get fucked with all your other, and you're surrounded by a bunch of dudes. Everybody's just fucking with each other all the time.
And the worst thing you could do if somebody's fucking with you is to get pissed because then they're gonna fuck with you more.
Yeah.
Like, that's how if you just like whatever, then they're just gonna fuck with the next guy. But if you get mad, like, what's up, dude? What are you doing? Oh, you're getting fucked with even more
Every day.
Yeah.
They're literally going out of their way to fuck with you at that point.
Yeah, it's
for
enjoyable
sure.
for that. Yeah, that's what,
So guys out there watching and listening, listen very closely. If somebody walks right up to you and punches you in your face and really victimizes you, yeah, you should be upset. But if you have people that are coming up and doing stuff like putting dildos on your car and everything, you need to be thankful. It means that these people actually care about you and like
Yes.
you.
Yeah.
Because like to that point, like, I mean, obviously we're friends here, you know, we're around each other all the time, but like, I mean, you know, you don't do fun shit like that. And yeah, I get it. Like with Ed, who does not come on the podcast, but you know, Ed's reaction at first was pissed because, like you said, like, oh, what if my boss saw it and everything, and then the light bulb came on with him, and he realized, like, all right, and then you know what was his next message? He's like, all right, bitches, it's on.
Yeah,
like,
right,
you know,
right.
I'm gonna get you back now. Yeah.
Which is how it should be, you know what I mean? But
100%.
that's harder and harder to find nowadays because people are just so fucking soft. They think it is
Mm-hmm.
like it's like there's no like brotherhood, there's no like just like banter amongst men that can just happen anymore without it like hurting or somebody's feelings getting, you know, violated.
Yeah,
and then
these
it's
are
like
trigger words or something.
Yeah.
You know, some bullshit like that. Yeah.
well, and it's like it was funny because we were working out. Me and I don't want to say his name because he'll get his feelings hurt. But we were working out, and I was joking with him, and I like gave him like a little slap on the face, and I was like, "Come on, bitch, don't be a pussy. Like, get this fucking workout in." And then like 2 days later, he's like, "I really didn't appreciate it when you slapped me like that." And I was like, "Dude, I was fucking with you. I was trying to tell you to fucking get your. It's no different than you fucking standing over me when I was benching, being like, 'Come on, pussy, fucking block it out.'" I was like, "What the fuck? How did this hurt your feelings all of a sudden?" But you know, it happens. You just deal with it and fucking. I don't know how to be different. You know.
Oh, no, there's nothing to say about that. We're gym guys. Literally, like Nick, you, me. We've all get used to getting yelled at each other's faces, yelling at each other, calling each other pussies.
You know
and
what? My high school-
losers. Yeah. Well, like when I was in high school, if you didn't run the track, our fucking what's it called, teacher would make fun of us.
Yeah, dude.
They
You know
would make
shit my
fucking
coaches
fun.
would give me? Be like, fucking pussy, you know, what, all day long. I hear
All
from
the
these
time.
authority figures in high school trying to get the most out of me. Call me a little bitch or whatever.
Yeah.
They,
Oh,
all right.
It's
here
so
we go.
funny to think. I was just watching something the other
Get
day.
fired for that now.
I can't
Oh,
remember.
yeah.
Yeah, well, I was just saying,
Yeah.
we were watching a movie the other day. God, I wish I could remember the name of the movie so we could talk about it. But that's what it was. Like somebody was like running or something, and he's like the coach is making so fun of this dude so hard, and I'm just like, could you imagine if they did that shit anymore?
Like, you ever watch Full Metal Jacket with?
Yeah.
Yeah.
With,
Guy went a
what's his
little
name?
fucking Gomer Pyle.
Gomer Pyle. Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, I remember
Pyle,
watching
Pyle.
those movies, and then when I went out for basic, I was like, these guys are fucking soft compared to
Dude.
the movies. Like, I mean, yeah, you had to do a lot of fucking, like, there's a lot of smoke show where you're fucking doing push ups until you can't fucking breathe, and you're fucking making the wall sweat because you guys are doing flutter kicks in a fucking 12 by 12 room, and there's like 20 of you. But, like, they didn't talk to us the way that they did, you know, on the movies. Like, they made basic sound like they were gonna fucking rip your fucking throat off, piss down it, and fucking kick you back out there. And fucking, if you didn't finish your 2 miles in under 10 minutes, you're fucking done. Like, it was crazy to, like, to actually go through it.
That's how the Marine Corps actually is. Like, if you ever go into the Marine Corps and like you like, go down to Parris Island stuff, they're legit like that.
Yeah.
100%.
It's,
crazy.
I mean, it definitely depends on where you're at, like where you're attending your basic too,
For sure.
for the Army. Like if you're down in like, down in Kentucky, Fort Knox, when you're going through like scout school and you're at all in the same school, your basic is the same as your AIT. It's all in one, different setup than if you're, you know, I don't know, being a doctor or a medic and fucking Fort Sam and chilling after your 9 weeks of basic. But, it's getting a lot easy now. David and I actually just went to the local recruiter's office because
They
we
would
want to
not,
have them
they would
on.
not let us sign up though.
I was like, it was funny. I go, I know. You're disappointed to see us because we're definitely too old. He goes, well, how old are you?
Yeah.
I was like, wow, you guys are really fucking desperate, bro.
They get bonuses based on how many people they send.
Oh, yeah, of course.
They're like,
Well-
how can I make this work?
we were talking to him though about, you know, because I was like, oh, I had a great idea. I want to have you guys on the show. And then what I thought is that the show's on a Sunday night. Sunday, I'll see how many volunteers from the community we can get to come up and do the Army fucking PT test or the Marine PT test, just to see who can make it through it. Like, and maybe you guys will find some new recruits out of it. But in the meantime, like, it'll be great content. Like, imagine a bunch of guys trying to fucking do the 2 mile and all this shit.
Dude, I would die at a 2 mile.
Oh,
That'd be
dude.
hard for me.
So it's funny though, because he's like, I was like, but you guys don't do the same test. Like when I was there, it was push-ups, how many push-ups you could do, how many sit-ups you can do within 2 minutes each. And then you had a 2 mile run. That was the physical fitness test for the Army. And it was the same for the Marines. I think they might have had pull-ups. Yeah. And then you had like a certain amount that you had to do. Like to pass for a male, you had to be able to do, I think it was like 42 push-ups in 2 minutes for like an 18-year-old kid, right? And then for sit-ups, you had to do like 75, something like that. And then to max it, I remember my max, I want to say it was 72 push-ups to max it, get 100%. And then sit-ups was like 96 or something. And then to pass your 2 mile run, I think you had to do it under 17 minutes. And then to max it, it was like 13, I think you had to do it, or 13:10, something like that. Now they do deadlift, arm release push-ups, which is like where you do a push-up and then you put your arms all the way out, you lay your chest on the ground, put your arms all the way out to the side, and then you do a push-up and you do this over and over. 2 mile run is still on there, but you can pass it 21 fucking minutes, which is basically like walking.
Jesus.
And I forget what the other one was. There was another portion of it too. Oh, a ball toss where you take a medicine ball, 10-pound medicine ball, throw it backwards over your head or whatever. But he's like, yeah, they just made it a lot easier to pass. He's like, it's a lot harder to max the test out now, but it's also a lot harder to fail. I was like, God,
I think that's a
damn.
problem. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a fucking definite problem.
And you know, the other thing too is like, they used to have like, now that they're putting women in different things or whatever, they give them a lower qualification point than even the men, which has already been lowered, you know, and that's like a huge liability, I think. I mean, honestly, even for the males that are just barely passing that, like if you're in a combat situation and you're dependent on this dude to carry your ass out if you've been hurt or whatever, you're injured, like this dude barely passed the test. You think he's gonna be able to haul your fucking ass out of there? You know, probably not. You know, so
that's a great point too, because when you're going through there, you learn like you're only as strong as your weakest link when you're going through basic and stuff like that. And, you know, there would be mornings where like my entire squad or something would be late to a formation because somebody was shitty at getting their boots tied or their fucking bunk tidied up and ready for inspection and stuff. And so obviously the goal was to teach camaraderie, teamwork. So like, hey, you got to fucking help your strongest guy. But then you start to realize like, fuck this, bro. Like, if we're in a combat zone and you're fucking late to the fucking, like, eventually I should be able to say fuck you. And I never went to special forces, but it sounds like special forces a lot like that. Like you hear, like when guys talk about like Navy SEALs and shit like that.
that's
like,
what it used to be.
The
is
weak
what they
link's
are now.
gotta go, bro. Like you're gonna fucking slow down the unit. Like we have a mission to accomplish, and the rest of the fucking Army and Marines and everything should be like that.
Well, I'll tell you, they had. I don't remember who I was talking to, but I was talking to this Marine. He was stationed over in Afghanistan or whatever. And they basically had this thing where they were going to go infiltrate this area, but they had to go at night, right? And so they go in, but they had to move fast. And this woman that was in the platoon with them couldn't keep up. So now they're in enemy territory. She can't keep up. They have to move at a certain rate. She can't keep up. They have to send air patrol in to come get her. So now you're endangering the whole troop because now you're like, hey guys, we're here, right here, you know, and all these people's lives are in danger because this person couldn't keep up. You know what I mean? It happened to be a female. That was like the whole point of the conversation was he was like, yeah, female should not be in combat situations because this is why, you know, and they just don't have, you know, they have to be able to have that same criteria. It shouldn't be lowered because you're a female or lowered because you're this age or anything at all.
Well, and because that's the thing too, right? Like there's exceptions to the rule. For instance, there's plenty of fucking men I wouldn't want fucking coming on in a combat mission with me. Shit, there's plenty of fucking men I wouldn't want to go to the grocery store with me. Like, they're just not going to fucking be any use to me as a human, right?
If you're the exception as the female that can actually do all that shit, I would take you over the male that can't, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. You know? Like, we talk about at the gym, there's a couple of people in the gym that are women there that's like, fuck, when they're in the gym, like, I'm going to the other fucking side or I'm leaving because you're going to make me feel like a bitch.
Yeah, put Carly in my platoon. That's fine.
Yeah,
she'll haul my ass out
at the same point in time, right? Like, you know that she's gonna fucking do the job.
She'll be able to do it. I put her in there over 90% of the dudes that are in that gym for sure. Yeah.
But at the same point in time, it's like that's the exception. That's not the rule. You know what I mean? And it's the same thing when you get into like transgenders fighting and stuff like that, dude. Like as a man, dude, you know that you're stronger than the majority of the women. Like if you're any kind of athlete, if you're any kind of whatever you're competing
Even
in.
if you're not, you probably are. You know what I mean?
Well, like I'm not a fucking sprinter, but I can fucking probably outrun fucking half of the fucking women that I'm sprinting against just because of the fact that I'm a man. I'm built to be stronger. Fucking, it is what it is. More athletic, whatever the case. So, just like that. Wow. I don't know what was going on upstairs. I don't know if anybody heard that, but that was intense.
She's gonna fight the dogs.
She must have heard our conversation.
She's coming down with a fucking sword.
Yeah. What do you mean I can't be in combat?
But yeah, I mean, I think that you talk about like different levels for men versus women, and when it comes to certain things, like for instance, if someone is trained to be a nurse or a doctor or a fucking surgeon, like they don't have different fucking rules.
No, dude, you either pass or you don't. Yeah.
Right. So why, when we talk about combat and our military, why would we have different guidelines so that a woman could, like for instance, when Trump got shot at, and you have all these people in there that have lower, to fill spots for DEI,
yeah,
and they've got lower qualifications in order to get more women to pass it. Like,
yeah,
I'm sorry, like where does that make you feel safer?
Yeah, that doesn't help anybody. It's in certain situations, and police officers, same thing. Like a lot of females that if you can't, operate in the same restrictions as the males. I mean, what if you have to subdue a 300-pound male guy and you're a 120-pound woman? Like,
yeah,
you're gonna have to go to your belt, right? So the first thing you're gonna do is try to get like a taser or something like that. Even with a taser or pepper spray, you still might not be able to get that dude because he's so much stronger than you. The difference is this much. You know what I mean? Even at a 200-pound man, 300-pound guy, maybe with a taser or a pepper spray or something like that, you can subdue him enough to get him down, right?
Right.
But when you're 100 pounds heavier than somebody or more, that's going to be a problem. Number two is, what's the next thing they're going to do? And you could probably weigh in on this too, is they're going to reach for their gun.
Yeah.
So now someone's going to get shot. You don't want police to be shooting people. Well, that's what's going to happen, because now it's her life or his, and she can't defend herself without deadly force at that point.
Well, and that's where training becomes way more. I mean, I don't want to bring up what we just talked about, but like, no, I'm talking about this when we went and visited the station the other day. But like, that's not what I think of when I think of American soldiers,
right?
But when you talk about police, I always use the example like most of the police that pull you over look like that's about the only thing they can do is fucking pull people over for fucking speeding.
Don't even start me with
Yeah.
all the cops.
But let me tell you a story real quick, because in Greece specifically, you have to have like 6 months training in the fucking police force, or in the, what's it called? It might even be 2 years now. I'll have to look that up, or maybe you could look it up while we're talking, David. So first night we're in Athens. We're like looking out our balcony, and across the street is like a 5-story like apartment complex type thing. And my wife's like, that dude is like creeping around on the upstairs. So we're like sitting there watching this dude like kind of creeping around, and then a light turns on, and then he was like walked right into this fucking apartment, but then he came out, and then he went on the roof, and we're like, what the fuck is going on? Well, then like the cops show up like 4 seconds later, right? As he climbs up on the roof. And when I say the cops come in, I mean like 10 dudes that are between 5'9" and 6'4", all around 220, all yoked as fuck. And they all pull up, and it's funny because they drive these tiny little fucking cars, and they all come out of them like like
Ronnie Coleman shows up. Yeah.
And they look at us, like we're on the balcony, they look at us, and they're like this, and my wife and I are like on the roof. Without hesitating, this dude literally jumps up to the second floor fucking bottom of the
parkour
of the balcony thing, and pulls himself up, jumps to the next fucking thing, up like 5 stories in about fucking 45 seconds. And I'm like, did you just see that shit? That was fucking impressive. Follows the guy down, fucking, the guy ends up like sneaking into the office building next door or something, and like he's like breaking through the glass door because it was probably locked to try to escape from this building. And as he comes out, like, he doesn't even have his whole self through the fucking, like, the glass isn't even broke enough for him to get through. And the fucking other cop that's on the floor literally reaches through the glass, grabs this dude by the shirt, and pulls him through the fucking door.
Come on,
just shatters it. The dude's, like, sitting there bleeding and shit. And so anyhow, they ask us to come down and give a statement. We're like, oh, sweet. So they're like, come for a ride with us. These cops take us to this fucking police station. It is like a fucking basement in a shitty, I mean, if you've ever been to like a major like European city, like old buildings. So like we're in like this
Like a
basement
wine
area.
cellar, almost like
Yeah, like we're in like this
Okay.
basement area. I guess the police station's there's no lights or anything. The guy that broke in is standing here. This little college girl, who was the one whose apartment he broke into, is like literally right here. They're 3 feet across. In fact, she has to ride with us in the car on the way there because originally they were going to put her in the same back seat as the guy just trying to break in her house. So, like my wife and I are just like, what the fuck is going on? This is literally our first night. This is my wife's first time being out of the country. Like this is fucking all within like 8 hours of getting there. And the best part is we landed early morning. So like she didn't sleep at all. So she hasn't been asleep. She doesn't sleep on the flight. She's probably been up for 24 hours and all this shit's happening. But anyhow, like meanwhile, one of the cops is sitting there and I don't even know how he did it. It was literally like, he pulled a wrapping paper and his tobacco behind his ear at the same time, and within 2 seconds was like rolled his fucking lit it. I was like, "What the fuck did he just do? That was impressive." And all this is all going on or whatever, and then like they're like, "All right, we're done," and we're like, "Well, can you take us back to our fucking hotel? I don't even know where we're at." But we were talking to him, and they're like, "Dude, we have to go through like these different tests that we take like every week, physical tests." And then once you become a police officer, you still have to go through these different tests that you have to be able to pass. And I think did you look it up, David? Is it 6 months or 2 years police academy for?
Their initial academy is 6 to 8 months, but like, you know, they've got and this is across Europe as a whole, because you have a lot of countries that have mandatory military service, and
Right.
Greece is one of them. So unless you have some sort of exemption from it, but yeah, it looks like their standard academy is similar to ours.
Well, you figure if it's 6 month academy, but you mandate the military, then you have a 2 year prerequisite, basically. You know what I mean?
Good way to look at
Yeah,
it. But
yeah.
here's
Or however long it is, you know.
Here's the difference, and you know, it's kind of like you guys have heard the expression, all roads lead to Rome, right? It's like it seems like all of our podcasts lead to food somehow. But
Yeah.
I mean, I can speak to here. You know, you go regardless of your background, you get hired, you know, become an officer, deputy, trooper, whatever you do. And then now, you know, you're working weird hours, you're doing all this stuff, you're working long hours, it's stressful. And especially like when you're new, you're going to go work at night, and we work at night, you're going to eat whatever, whenever. And so that's where you see guys that, you know, are very fit when you graduate, then they go and they hit the road, and then things change because now they're eating fast food. They're, you know, drinking a lot of caffeine to, you know, not all, but a lot of people, you know, get stuck in that trap.
The old donut analogy.
The donut and coffee shop. So, but you don't have that in Europe. Like, you know, that food is available over there. They generally don't eat it though, like the tourists do. So that's a big part of it. And then the continued training is very different. So switching gears from Greece. So Germany is a good example. Germany, compared to us, where like, okay, you're driving down the street, you may get pulled over by the police, you may get pulled over by a deputy sheriff, you may get pulled over by a fucking town constable,
Right.
You may get pulled over by the DEA, you may, you know, and the list is endless, right? We've got all these different agencies at city, county, state, federal, all these different levels and everything. When you go to Germany, you're pulled over by the police. When you go to the airport and you're going through customs and everything, there's no other agency. It's the fucking police. It's all the police there. It's just one agency. So you have like this consistency of recruiting and training and management. And that's why when you look at them, they're all fucking fit. They look like they run marathons, all of them. Like there's not a single fucking fat cop anywhere in Germany.
Right.
Like, and I've been almost the entire damn country. I haven't found one.
Yeah.
But yeah, they all look like they could go run marathons tomorrow. And they only work for like maybe 20 years max. And
I was going to ask, maybe do they compensate them better than we do? Is that what it is?
not necessarily, because it's very expensive over there. Everything. There's nothing in Europe that's less expensive than here, other than maybe olive oil.
Depending on where you're at, right?
yeah.
Some things,
are we
some
able to-
things, but
Are we able to find out what the average salary is for like a German
Yeah, I
police
can look
officer?
that up while
I'd be
we're
curious to
talking.
see what that would be.
Yeah.
You know, just because I mean, versus like us, like I mean, some of our cops make good money, but
Well, I'll put it to you this way. I mean, you know, my LA cop friends today that are still working with overtime are making over $200,000 a year.
holy,
so here,
Wow.
the average salary for a police officer in Germany was around 42 pounds a month, or 4,200 euros a month. That's for a 35-year-old officer with roughly 10 years experience in a 36-hour work week.
And we're pretty even keel euro to dollar right
Yeah,
now. So
yeah.
that's
Yeah, the average pay
that's
for a year
50
is
grand a
60. So it says here the average pay for a police officer is 69,000 a year.
That's actually pretty low.
And 33 euros an hour. The average salary for a police officer is between 48 and 83.9.
so nationally, that's pretty close to the U.S.
Yes.
Like here in Ohio, that's a pretty average salary, and then you'll have certain areas cost of living and or different
Sure, that'll
agencies
affect
pay
it
more.
differently.
But, yeah.
I could see paying cops that are like that $200,000 a year because they're all the extra work they have to do to be a cop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing too. And obviously every country is different. Like if you go to London, they don't allow guns, so the cops don't have guns.
Yeah,
Right.
I would never want to be a cop without a gun, dude.
But they got to go through their certain level of fucking training too.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the good
I don't care
news-
what training you have though. Gun
I-
versus no gun, you lose every time.
Yeah, but guns are like illegal there. Period. So
Right.
like most crimes aren't guns. It's like stabbings and shit like that.
Iceland. The police in Iceland do not carry guns.
Yeah.
They don't even carry tasers either. Like you have to be a supervisor to carry a taser in Iceland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then once again, Iceland's like the safest country in the world.
Yeah, it is.
Do they not have gun violence and stuff in
They have guns and they have drugs. They just don't shoot each other usually there.
Yeah.
Like I
Interesting.
think Iceland has had one homicide in like the last 3 years.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wonder why. I wonder why. What's the differences between them? and us?
Tall, blonde women.
A
Makes
lot of
sense.
sex.
Yeah.
A lot of sex.
Oh my god. Oh, yeah, with their fucking cousins.
That's funny.
Sorry to those Iceland people that might be listening.
We're
to
gonna
this
get
podcast,
offended by a bunch of Iceland people.
But we 100% know the truth.
That's right, cousin fuckers.
When you have an app that tells you how related you are to the person you just
they
met at the
do.
bar,
That's
and
a
you have to
problem.
make a decision like third cousin. You know what? Fuck it. I haven't had sex in a month.
Yeah,
I'm
just
gonna
got
go
big
for
tits,
this
do
one.
it. Yeah.
it's either this or murder. So all right, come on, cousin.
That's funny.
Gun ownership is high in Iceland. Most farmers owning guns for hunting. However, to get a license, you must be over 20 years old, have a clean criminal record, and pass a mental health exam. So, I mean, it's
not bad.
But there's also a lot less fucking people in Iceland, right? And that's also part of the lack of it.
Well,
And I'd be interested to see how if that changes as they allow more.
Migrants.
Yeah.
They're going in there.
Yeah, because like when we were there was quite a few Ukrainians,
Yes.
Romanians, things like that. And I'm not saying that they all come from violent countries, but when I was in, bring up Greece again, when we were there, part of the reason that they had so much crime is because they were one of the few countries that had like open borders during like the migrant crisis like years ago. And the people that are around there would tell us like it wasn't necessarily that everybody was a bad person, right? But when you have so many migrants come in and there's not enough jobs and things like that, what happens is if we all came from fucking say Iran and these people all came from fucking Jordan and these people all came from here, like eventually you kind of start to like hover up with those people. And then like if you're all broke and you're all like, you result to crime, and then when gang violence becomes the issue
well,
over
that
there.
that was the 1920s U.S. right there.
Yeah, 100%. A very similar scenario, and then as gangs, you start taking over sections, and then those
the
sections
Irish
become
and
known
the
for
Italians,
violence.
and
Right.
it ends up being organized crime. Yeah.
So that was one of the things over there. So now that Iceland's starting to kind of promote migration to them in order to get more people there and prevent as much cousin fucking, I'm interested to see what that leads
Cousin
to.
fucking's down 10%, but crime's up 30. Yeah.
But overall, cool
and
country.
they have Costco.
They do have a
yeah.
Costco.
Oh,
Yeah, Costco. Costco makes everything better.
Yeah. No. So I wonder if you could draw. I guess this kind of relates to the topic we were talking about earlier with like difference in culture from now when we were kids. So police interactions too were a lot different when we were younger versus now too.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Like I remember learning when I was a kid. Like you when you interact with a police officer, you need to be kind of on your best behavior. You put your hands up. How many times you see them put your hands up, and then people put their hands up. Whatever. Nowadays you interact with a cop, there's a cell phone in their face in the first 2 minutes. You know what I mean?
I could not deal with that shit as a cop. Like I would shoot fucking people.
Yeah.
Like you deserve to be shot.
Like I know
fuck.
my rights, I know this, I know that, whatever, blah blah. And it's very confrontational. And I wonder if that plays a factor into why you have all these altercations now versus like other countries where maybe if you're in Greece and the cops look like that, you ain't fucking with no cop. So if he tells you to do something, you're just gonna do it because you're like, I don't want to go to jail. I don't know how this operates here. Whatever.
I think as Americans too, and not even just Americans, because it's people that aren't, that are migrants and things like that over here. Like we have this like fuck everybody attitude. I feel like when it comes to like,
we're very selfish.
well, yeah, but I mean, we're so when it comes to like when somebody asks, like for instance, if somebody says, "Hey, please don't do that," like their first question is why? Like because I fucking said, motherfucker. Like, well, why is that so difficult? Like this is my house, or this is my restaurant, or this is my business. Like I'm just asking you to be respectful. Instead, you got to make it a fucking deal. Now we got to get into an altercation. Now you got to fucking put it on fucking blast on whatever the case, and it's just like, man, it's so fucking crazy. Like where
There's a lot of people that are entitled. A lot.
yeah.
Sure, yeah.
Oh, a lot of people that they feel like they deserve this or they want to act like this, and then there's going to be no consequences.
Yeah.
In the long run.
So just get their ass kicked.
Yeah, that's all comes back to getting your ass kicked when you're
Or
a kid.
kick someone else's ass. Hey, sometimes if you're the arrogant asshole and fucking somebody says you need your ass kicked, like, and you can't kick their ass, but fucking you learn your lesson. Okay, you know what? That guy gets to be an arrogant asshole.
Yeah, because I can't. Yeah, I can't. Yeah, maybe I need to go work on that. Yeah. Go take a Krav Maga class or something.
Oh my god. So,
But no, but you're talking about the police, like in other countries and stuff. When me and Danny went to Japan, I did research on what would they do to you if you broke the law?
Kung Fu.
Fuck, and a lot worse than kung fu. You automatically, if you're a foreign like tourist, they automatically hold you for 14 days if you break any law.
oh wow.
14 days. And I heard, and I've done research, Japan's jail is like one of the worst, not like the worst in the world, but they tell you when to sleep, they tell you when to eat. It's all that. So you
Look
like
at the
regular
Russia
jail.
shit, dude. Look at that chick, that basketball chick from Russia.
Yeah.
They should have fucking kept her.
Yeah, they should have kept her for sure.
She could have definitely stayed over there. We traded a fucking terrorist for a basketball player.
Also, dude, no one ever talks about this, but how stupid do you have to fucking be to like try to go to Russia and break the law? You knew when you was going to Russia that they don't allow this type of shit.
That's a fucking American people shit. That's entitled shit.
Yeah,
That's
bro.
Like, listen, bitch, you play in the fucking WNBA, okay? You're not you're not
dude.
Michael fucking Jordan,
Yeah.
dude. You're like the socks that he wore on his retirement game. Like, you're not that big of a deal. You think you're gonna just go into a different country, and of course, our fucking President Biden and all his wisdom's like, yeah, let me trade this fucking terrorist for a basketball player who broke the law. No, you should have just fucking let her sit over there and rot.
Yeah.
and eventually everybody would have forgotten about her. And who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
That's her fault. She broke the fucking law. There's certain things not to do, and that's break laws in Russia.
When you travel certain places, you just know that, hey, even locally, bro. Like, there's like if I'm over in bad area of Cleveland, I know like, okay, I need to watch my surroundings. I need to not flash money around. I need to there's certain things that you do, right?
Yeah, of course.
And
You
it's
change the way you act.
Yeah, exactly. And same thing if you go to Mexico, certain areas you don't want to be just cruising around. Like maybe we stay on the resort. We're not really going to go sightsee in Tulum because I don't want to get abducted or whatever. So, but there's different things that you do, when you're in certain scenarios. So don't think that you're above that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, when I get to Mexico, I'm going to do whatever I want. Like, no, cartel don't give a fuck, dude.
Yeah,
like,
dude, it's not even fucking worth it. Dude, funny story about Mexico. Or actually, it started in Hawaii. So this dude in Hawaii, he was like, hey, I got to fly out tomorrow. If you guys want this, you can have it. He hands me like a big bag of weed. He's like, take it all, dude. Fucking awesome, whatever. And I'm like, sweet. So like I smoked, I rolled a joint that day and smoked it, and that was it. And like when we were leaving, my wife and I are like, well, I want to keep like a little nugget, like a souvenir. We threw it in this little Jack Daniels bottle that we had or something, and we're going to take it back on the plane. No big deal. And, well, it wasn't a big deal until somehow our baggage got lost.
Oh,
and like
shit.
we were going from Hawaii home for 2 days, and then we were going to Dominican Republic. I'm trying to think of the country, but it doesn't matter. Anyhow, so now our bags had to get delivered there, which means they had to go through customs.
Oh, fuck.
Holy fuck! I was sweating fucking bullets.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Like I'm sitting there, and the lady that comes to get me, and she's like, "Are you Mr. McHugh?" And I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "You need to come with me to customs." And I'm like,
oh, fuck.
"Oh yeah, exactly." Oh fuck. She's like, "It's right through this door, and it's like a fucking single like gray door in the airport." And I'm like, "Well, this is fucking it." I'm like, and I have no service. I'm like, I'm gonna send my last text, probably going to jail in fucking the Dominican Republic forever. And it ended up being no big deal. But man, I would tell you, I was sweating fucking bullets because that was the last place I wanted to go to jail at. Was fucking
Oh yeah.
nope, not for me.
Dude, I got in trouble a coming back from my honeymoon in Mexico for coconut smuggling.
Oh, really?
That's
believe that,
you know that's a thing like that. Like okay, so
I know some places have like plant laws and
Yeah.
stuff
Bro.
like that, but smuggling sounds
dude,
serious.
this was crazy, dude. Like seriously. Okay, so we had a direct flight from Mexico to Cleveland, and we fly in. And I was in Mexico, whatever, and I'm getting souvenirs, and we're at the hotel, and there was some coconuts. Or I'll bring these back for the kids. They'll like it, whatever. Throw it in my bag, whatever. And we're going through customs. Cleveland has their own customs thing, whatever. And I'm working
The
with
worst
this guy.
fucking customs ever.
God, yeah. And these dudes talk about dudes that care about their job way more than they should. So it's funny. Like one couple got randomly searched. They happen to be the only Arab couple on the whole plane. The wife looks at her. Oh, random, huh? Like, yeah, whatever. So they weren't going to search my bags or nothing, but you have to declare whatever you're coming in with. So they said, "What do you have?" I said, "I have a pipe, like tobacco pipe, which is basically a weed pipe, and but you can't say weed pipe, you say tobacco pipe, it's fine." And then so unused pipe, and then I had some shirts, and I said, and a couple coconuts, and the TSA officer looked at me and goes, "Coconuts?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Are they filled with milk?" And I'm like, Probably. I don't know. Yeah. Do you know how detrimental coconuts can be to Ohio soil? And I'm like, no, but I'm sure you're about to tell me. And he's like, shut up before you go to jail. And I'm like, all right, whatever. I'm like, here, take the coconuts. He's like, oh. And he's like, they detain me and they're trying to figure out what they're going to do. I'm like, if I go to jail or some fucking coconuts, dude, I
Oh
would be
my
pissed.
God,
Let's go
dude.
buy them at the
Nuts.
grocery store or whatever. Yeah. But yeah, they ended up letting us go or whatever.
No,
Obviously.
Talk about TSA stories, but I was visiting friends in Florida a few years ago with my family, and half my family's military. So they were doing the deployment stuff, and they got back visiting us. Well, when we got to the airport to leave them, and do you know how you go to the TSA and they swab your hands to check for bomb material and stuff?
Yeah. If you fired a firearm. Or
Yeah, firearm. Well, I was hanging out with a bunch of military people they were doing explosives the day beforehand. Well, it looks like I had bomb residue on my hands.
Oh,
They
shit.
swabbed my hands and it came up all red. When they ran into the machine, all this red stuff showed up. So they literally surrounded me at the airport.
Oh, bro.
My dad was like, "What the fuck's going on?" And they had me go into a
They
room.
caught me red-handed.
I'm like, what the fuck is going on? My dad's like, what the fuck's going on? And he's like, we can't talk to you, sir. And they literally put me in a room private. They strip searched me, go through my bags, everything. Literally, they did the whole nine. Why are you coming here? Where are you leaving to? All 9 questions. I'm like, what the fuck's going on? Seriously, and they're like, do you have any military family members? And I'm like, yeah. They're like, well, they probably fucking shot some guns and you probably have some residue. I'm like, no fucking shit. I told you that at the beginning.
Oh my god, that's
Yeah.
hilarious.
I was
That's
like,
crazy.
I've wondered
Jesus.
that a couple of times. Like last year or the year before, I went and did the sheepdog response thing that Tim Kennedy has down in Austin, Texas, and like I literally left. Like we had the last day was like the gun range, and then I had gotten a plane that day and came home. And I was like, man, I wonder if I was like sweating a little bit because I was like, fuck, like I'm gonna have to pull all this shit out. Fucking, they're gonna, but it didn't catch it.
Didn't catch it. You got lucky then. You got real lucky.
That's funny though. Well, speaking of fucking shooting and hunting and eating, David, I noticed you got a fancy hat on there. You want to share what that hat's all about?
Yeah, what is that about?
Yeah, that's my new hat. That's carnivore hat. Shout out to our buddies down the road at Bearded Butchers. We were out there at their shop the other day, and that's pretty amazing. I think we need to get out there and get a tour going in that place.
Yeah, I love to have those guys on it. It's impressive that they built that shit in like 8 years. Like,
I mean, they were in like a shack.
We say our buddies, but we have no idea who the fuck they are, other than a couple of cool dudes with beards that fucking do barbecue. But their store, like there's not a fucking meat that you can't get. We're actually like, we should have a competition.
Ooh.
Like they've got alligator, ostrich,
Kangaroo. Really?
kangaroo.
Oh, I would like to try some alligator again.
What else did they have? Fuck,
They have snake.
I don't know if they
Bison. I didn't
Bison-
see any
Bison's
snake.
good.
I had
Bison's real good.
snake. They definitely had bison. I thought they had bear, maybe not.
I'm a little hesitant to eat bear because I've heard if you don't cook the bear right, there is like some kind of parasite that you can get sick from.
I did hear that once before, but I mean, I don't think that'd be
yeah.
a fucking problem. I'd cook that shit to medium. But yeah, we were like, dude, we should have a fucking eating contest where we just like fucking smoke like 100 pounds of fucking meat and see what tastes
Smash
better.
it. Yeah.
I'm in.
Yeah,
I'm in.
definitely.
I'm down.
The meat flight.
Yeah.
A little more
Get the meat
expensive than
sweats.
I thought, and I get like the idea that it's kind of like
local.
This is
raise.
part of the things I'd like to ask them because I'm just like they're like what was it $13 a pound for regular ground beef,
Yeah.
and to me I'm like okay, well I can get ground beef from Keller's right out this way for $7 a pound. What's the difference?
Yeah.
And you're grass fed versus their grass fed. So I'd be interested, like, where do they source their meat from? Is it from local dairies, things like that, or local dairies, local farms, and why it's more? And obviously, they get to charge a little bit more because they've got a national brand now that's like, I don't know, I think they've got like millions of followers between all their social media and stuff like that.
That's the one that Brock Lesnar like is buddies with the guys, right? Isn't that right?
That's very possible, actually.
Do they have a Brock Lesnar seasoning? I think, don't they?
No,
they
I
don't.
don't. I didn't see it there. It's very possible, though. I'm sure they've got connections all over the place. I
I can't remember if that was Bearded Butcher or the White Feather one. But I
So
thought
they're both
it
of
is,
those.
Oh, it's
actually.
the same thing?
It is them, and
Is
it is
it?
with Brock. They
Yeah.
have a certain blend with him.
So listen to this. So Craig, that owns a gym,
Yeah.
knows these guys are like
Yeah.
buddies. Brock comes into town. Oh, I don't remember why he was here, but he bought meat from them like a long time ago, and like he only gets his meat from them now.
Oh, wow,
It's like
really?
a thing, yeah. And so they made a seasoning for him or whatever, which I'm pretty sure you can still get there or whatever.
Yeah.
And he wanted to buy into the place, but they told him no. They said no, we're good with what we're doing. But he wanted to be like part owner, which. I'd love to hear why they didn't want that because the publicity from that would have been ridiculous. You know what I mean? So
it's interesting enough. So I guess I was reading a little bit of their backstory. Like they've had it was the Perkins Farms or Perkins Butcher for the longest time, and they had they would do like people would send their meat there to be processed by them as butchers, and they did like a lot of like I don't want to say rare meat, but necessarily, but like there's a word I'm looking for. Anyhow, they did bears, they did all that shit.
Exotic.
Thank you. And then I want to say what is like 2016 or 17, they decided like, hey, they want to kind of put a stop to that. They want to just do their own thing and just be full-time butchers.
Sure.
And then they made social media blew up on it. I mean, they do all kinds of cool shit. I just watched them the other day with a bison brisket, and I was like, man, I didn't even realize I didn't even think about that being a thing, but of course it would be a thing because when you cut up a bison, the fucking build's very similar to a cow. Is like,
Sure.
so now that's like our next thing on the list. We got to smoke a bison fucking brisket for sure.
I'm
let me know when you do that.
I'm
I'll
in
throw
for that.
down on that one.
Hell yeah.
Same here.
So, but yeah, we went and visited their place, and I lived, I don't know, 2 miles from there for probably about 8 years, but never really stopped in there. So it was fun to go in there and check that place out and like see what they've built. And yeah, hopefully we can have those guys on. I'd love to hear more about that story, and like especially now you bring up that Brock
Lesnar stuff.
thing.
Yeah,
like, that's pretty cool.
And then I'll preface or proceed that I guess now, but with I don't really I've heard this secondhand.
Right,
so
right.
if I misspoke on any of that, I apologize. But to my knowledge, that's kind of the situation. Like Brock is pretty tight with them and like buys a lot of his shit from them or whatever. And I do know that they have like a seasoning for him. I don't know much else other than that.
Right on. And then I got a new hat too, thanks to David. He rocked this. Let's see, this guy's night.
The guy's
hat,
night hat,
which
yeah.
I'm starting to like this style of the logo a little bit more. I don't know if they can see that or not.
Either logo.
Evan needs a hat. He's the only non-hat guy.
I'm the only non-hat guy.
I even have the Mad Hatter right here. You mad, bro?
Come to think of it, Evan, I have never seen you with a hat on. Ever.
I very rarely wear a hat. I'm not gonna lie. I wear a hat when I'm working in the yard.
I've never seen him with a hat.
Wait,
No,
wait,
no.
wait. Working in the yard.
Yeah.
Can you tell
so
me
he
about?
never wears a hat.
Tell me about that. This is you outside with an iPad.
this
No. I like mowing the grass, listening to my audiobooks. That's what I like doing.
Plant some flowers.
Plant some flowers. Like weeding. I like to weed the beds sometimes.
You like weed?
the beds.
Yeah,
I like to
beds.
weed the beds.
Yeah, because I like working outside.
Who says that?
I do. Fuck
He
yeah.
says I like to mow the grass. I like to weed the bed. It sounds
Yeah.
like you're like talking about like you like to make the pasta.
make the pizza.
I like to eat the pepperonis and put it on the pizza. You know, like you're getting all excited over here about yard work.
I don't mind yard work. I like the physical labor sometimes in the summer. I like sweating. I like doing that.
I don't believe any of this.
Oh shit.
For a hot second.
I fucking hate yard work, dude.
I think
Nobody likes to do yard work. If you want to pick
I like
weeds, dude,
edging.
I got a fucking like 200 square foot fucking garden out there. that turns into
You
weeds
gotta
every year.
understand. When I was younger, I used to do my parents' garden and yard, and then when my grandma became elderly. She couldn't do it herself. I had to pick up the slack. My grandma would pay me, but I still did it every weekend. I went over there, cut it, edged it, weeded it, all that stuff.
Yeah, that's why I hated it, because my dad would make my ass wake up at Saturday morning at like 7 o'clock. Like, got time to do yard work, kid. I'm like,
Yeah,
all
like,
right.
dude, I have all fucking day, and he'd be like, you know what? This is why you have kids. I'm like,
That's what my dad would say
And
too.
you're my
And our
stepdad.
dads all hated
Actually, that
yard
doesn't
work,
even
too. That's why
fucking
I had
count.
kids.
Well, but believe it or not, my dad at first he hated doing yard work, but when he became older, he started liking it. I don't know why, but he likes doing yard work when he can do it.
So it's funny when you first buy a house, like, dude, I have stripes in the fucking lawn. Like, I would take 6 hours to mow my fucking grass because I wanted the fucking perfect stripes. And then I realized that I'm wasting 6 hours of my life I can't get back every week. So then the 14-year-old kid across the street started a business, and he's like mowing lawns for $50, and then somehow I ended up paying $70. I don't even think he told me there was a fucking upcharge, but I just started paying him a little bit more.
Smart man.
Gasoline surcharge.
Well, he didn't tell me to stop paying him $70, but like the 1 year was $50, and then like I just started giving him $70 for whatever reason, and then it just came a thing. But anyhow, yeah, now he mows it, and I hope he does it. I think he's going to be a sophomore next year, so I'm hoping I got at least another year of him mowing the lawn, because I forgot how much I hated it,
Dude,
until I didn't have to do
Do you
it.
have a riding mower, right?
I had a riding. I sold
Okay.
it last year. I was like, because I was like, all right, I'm either gonna buy like a 60-inch fucking zero turn, or I'm gonna pay this kid to mow my lawn. And what I figured out was I could essentially pay him to mow my lawn once a week for 3 years before it would pay, and then that would be about when I would hit the even point on the zero turn, which at that point, at 3 years into the zero turn, I've got to fucking do regular maintenance on it. I got to put gas
Every year
in
you
it.
gotta
I
do
got to
maintenance
sharpen
on it.
the blades. You got to do all these different things over the course of 3 years. So I was like, really, it's going to be 4 years before I'm even on this fucking thing. And that doesn't even count the 2 hours a week that I'm putting myself in. So I was like, you know what? If he wants to mow the lawn, like, make it happen, dude.
Is
You're
the
awesome.
money worth your time? That's the main key thing.
I did the opposite of what you did. I did the zero turn thing, because when I bought my house, I don't have a very big yard. It's like a third of an acre or whatever, small. But I bought a zero turn. My wife's like, "Do you really need a zero turn for this lawn? You could just buy a push mower like the neighbors." I'm like, "Do you want to push the lawn? Okay, because I don't want to push the lawn. And as long as you expect me to take care of the lawn, I'm gonna buy the lawnmower that I need. You know." So I bought this. It's a Husqvarna, nice zero turn. So it was great. I could mow the whole lawn in 20 minutes. I make my kid do the weed whacking because can't get off of that, right?
Right.
So, and then, dude, then my neighbor, like, he's push mowing his lawn, and he comes to me one day. He says, "Hey, you could say no to this if or whatever, but can I borrow your lawnmower and mow my lawn, and I'll mow your lawn too?" I said, "Sure, yeah, fucking take it." Yeah. He's like, "I'll put gas in it and everything." I'm like, "Fuck, this is awesome." So I bought the lawnmower and I have the free lawn service.
Dude, hell
It's
yeah,
fucking-
bro. It's
great.
actually like you just bought the fucking neighbor to do your work.
Yeah.
Like,
He's
this
like,
is-
"I don't want to buy the zero turn mower. You have a zero turn mower. I'll just mow your lawn too." It literally takes to do the two lawns probably 35 minutes. You know what I mean? So it's, and you're just doing their neighbor. It's so easy.
Nick's like wakes up on a Saturday, gets on his lawnmower, drives it out. All right, bud, here's the keys.
Take
Gets in
over.
his truck
I
and
told him,
leaves.
I said, I just need the shed unlocked. I said, just go in the shed, get it, whatever, have a good time. I'll give his own key if he wants it. I don't give a shit.
That's
but
hilarious.
it was so cool.
I actually enjoy mowing the lawn.
Here's another one.
Yeah, I know.
pass.
I'm the weirdo in the group here.
Well, don't
but,
worry. Me and you,
I mean,
Dave,
it
are the
has
weird
its
ones.
benefits.
Yeah.
Like, okay, you can listen to music, zone out for a couple
that's
hours.
what I do.
That's exactly.
That's what I do.
I go to the gym for that.
Yeah, there's other
That's-
things I could be doing for that.
I bet though, I could see how that could be cool though if like I didn't have that outlet already. Like, okay, quiet. Like, and let's just say I have a big yard. It takes me an hour.
Yeah.
Okay, I got an hour. Right? I don't have to listen to my wife complain or my kids or nothing. I can just fucking.
Not that your wife complains.
She never complains.
she never complains.
Ever.
It's not like she could ever find anything that
Nothing.
she wishes you would do better.
No, it never happens ever. She's always super happy at everything I did throughout the day. Whatever. Yeah, I do all the chores, and she's super happy about them.
Does she have a sister?
Yeah, she actually has a lot. My wife's Puerto Rican, so they have like litters over there. her dad, dude. Her dad. This is crazy. Okay, so her dad is a bit of a ladies' man. Okay, we'll just put it this way. So her brother and her sister are the same age, so he had two women knocked up at the same time, which is great.
Shit.
And then and then he has her, and then and this is just her dad's side. So she got brother and sister on her mom's side too. But and then he got married after that, had two more kids after that too. So she had 3 kids before and then 2 kids after. So she got 6 of them on their dad's side, including her. But then about halfway through like her childhood, like she's growing up, or whatever. There's these two kids that were at the store. She, oh, these are your sisters. They're in town from Puerto Rico. He spent some time in Puerto Rico. Apparently, had a couple kids over there, and then they came to town. Whatever. So she got people coming out the woodwork she didn't even know about. It's crazy.
Oh,
so.
my God.
Does he like to go on podcasts?
Yeah,
I would like to hear this
Dude,
story.
I love to hear
Yeah.
I would love to have him on the podcast, except you need a translator because he does not speak English. So,
How long has he lived in America now?
like forever, like since.
We'll get Nina. No, we can't. We can't. We
she-
can't.
Yeah,
No,
I can't
that's-
have, well, I could get like her brother or something.
There you go.
So
But-
he's lived here his whole life and doesn't speak a fucking
yeah,
lick of English.
he lives actually. This dude's super interesting. He lives on the same house as a Christmas or same street as a Christmas Story house in,
Oh,
in
really?
Cleveland. Yeah, he does body work. He pretty much that area is like super Hispanic, so he like does a bunch of work for the community. Like and his wife speaks English, so like if they need to translate whatever
Right.
his kids, but yeah, he's like does really well. He speaks a little bit of English, but not a lot. You know, I just bring him Bud Light, and he likes me. So he's like, oh yeah, I don't ask him for money, and I bring him Bud Light. We're like,
Yeah,
we're
fucking
thick
close.
as thieves.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll do whatever for me. So, but he's super cool, dude. And you know, I mean, other than the just is indiscretion, I don't really care. You know what I mean? Whatever. So, but yeah, nice dude. But yeah, he's been there. Shoot, I mean, she was conceived in Puerto Rico but born here, so she's 30,
Oh, wow, really?
35.
Okay.
So he's been here 35 years. You know?
Holy shit! And you didn't pick up any fucking English.
No,
Like,
dude.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's
he
when you know you're
yeah.
just fucking hard headed as fuck, or you're pulling one over on
Yeah,
everybody. One of
he
the
probably
two.
does though.
He sounds like my grandma. She speaks Lebanese, but then she speaks English when around the family. But when she's around people that she doesn't know, she speaks Lebanese.
Well-
so she fucks around with her friends and family. I'm like, what the fuck, grandma?
I mean, if I
Speak-
could speak a different language, I would totally do that.
Dude, I need to learn Spanish just so I can talk shit with my wife about people. That's like my goal. You know?
Yes.
But dude, one time we we're at New Year's Eve, right?
And so you know when your wife's talking shit about
Yeah,
you.
yeah. You can't know the word no more. Yeah, I know most cuss words, so I know like oh fuck. I know my name. I know like asshole and stuff, so I know when she's talking about me. But so they throw these big New Year's Eve party every year, right? And but they haven't done one since COVID, but they used to have these huge parties and open bar, DJ, food. It was always great. We bring the kids, super kid friendly. They did it at this church. There was like a place in the basement, like a basketball court the kids all play on or whatever. Anyways, we get there and her friend came with us to this party and she's like, I'm going to just be sober and you can drink and I'll drive us home. I said, okay, no problem. It's up in Cleveland, so we live pretty far away. And okay, so I'm hanging out with the guys playing dominoes or whatever, hanging out, drinking. I find her, she's fucking sloshed, bro. Like she's fucked up. And she's like falling on the ground. I'm like, dude, you're supposed to drive home. I'm pretty buzzed, but I'm not this fucking drunk.
Right.
And I was like, you need to ask your dad if we could stay at his house because I'm not driving on New Year's Eve drunk home. You know what I mean? She's like, you ask him. I'm like, he doesn't speak fucking English, dude. Like, me stay at your casa. Sleep at your house. Like, so we ended up staying. It was fine, but it was like, fuck, dude, I can't ask this dude this.
Oh my god, that's fucking hilarious.
It was really funny,
dude. It's crazy to think too, and obviously like that's kind of how America grew so fast. Was like immigrants, like other countries coming, like they just had kids. That's what they knew how to do, and now it's like people don't have kids at all anymore.
No.
But like
It's a problem, actually.
Like
That's how my dating life is. Every girl I try to date, I want to talk about dating. As soon as kids come up in the conversation, they're gone.
Wow.
They're gone. They don't.
they're gone or you're gone.
No, they're gone. I want to have kids.
Take a leak.
You want to have? Go ahead. That's actually, you know what? I'm gonna take a leak too. So
Oh shit!
Let's
Leak
all
time.
go together.
yeah, come back.
Yeah, go ahead.
And we're back. All right. So you were saying now?
But yeah, no, having like 6 kids was like the normal amount back in
Yeah.
the day. Like you 6, 8, 10 kids. Like my on my stepmom's side, her parents, so my grandparents on that side, the one was one of 9 and the other one was one of like 15.
Yeah, same for I know on my dad's side, from what I remember, one of like 7 was my grandma and grandpa, and then the other one had like 3 brothers and sisters. But then my grandma's side, on my mom's side, she had 9 brothers and sisters, and she had 5 kids, and then like there's just a lot of people had a lot more kids back then, and it's funny because they got by.
Yeah. Well, no wonder the women didn't work. I mean, fuck. Yeah, that was a
it had to
full-time
be-
job.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah, it
well,
was.
and it's funny because, shit, who was it that I was talking? My wife's brother. They're about to have their 4th and 5th kids. They're having twins, and I was like, we were talking about it at Christmas with my other family, my sister and her husband and my brother, and My brother's from New York. He's like, oh, it makes me so upset that people are having this many kids. Like, we don't have enough resources for all these kids. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about, bro? We have plenty of fucking resources. Like, why are you fucking worrying about 200 or 300 years from now? What you should do is be happy that there's fucking people having kids, because you and your wife aren't going to have, kids. Speaking to my brother. And I was like, and that hopefully these kids will figure out a way for our fucking world to last longer and our resources to last longer. Like, you can't just fucking, like, eventually you need people that are being born to like grow, be smart, and like figure shit out. Like,
well, the population is declining. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so like
it
that's not a good thing. You know what I mean? You want to have more people. I mean, you don't want to be overpopulated, but you don't want to not
the
have.
thing is, like, I think population is one of those things where it kind of takes care of itself.
Yeah.
If you do it if naturally, but when you throw in shit like abortion, you throw in like all these different fucking pills, and you throw in how easy it is to get divorced, and you throw in all this other stuff, like, it really just skews those numbers in a way that's somebody's controlling it other than the people, the actual population.
Gonna fact check you there. Population's actually growing, but
Is it really?
it's the population in the organized world, like where we live, where the amount of children is going down, because the world's population is climbing. Like, we're going to be at 9 billion within probably 2 or 3 years. But
Is U.S. population growing too, or just
yeah, because they're all fucking coming here. It's free. You get a phone, you
that
get
makes
health care, you get a Happy Meal, like you get everything you want.
But the children
population's-
growth rate is like down 2% year over year for like the last 4 years. or
Yeah,
something
so
like that.
so we're not repopulating our country. We're outsourcing it essentially.
Yeah, right. We're
Exactly.
bringing in Mexicans and fucking Venezuelans and fucking all these other fucking crazy people.
Algerians.
Speaking of,
Syrians.
and not necessarily, this is kind of off topic, but how about fucking July or January 1st? Fucking Tesla goes off in a bomb at Trump Tower. Is that-
Holy sh-
I was actually just listening to that Sean Ryan interview today. I sent it to you guys, or to David at least. I don't know if you listened to it at all, but the story's crazy. So the guy's from Cuyahoga Falls, so 15 minutes from here.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. 20 years, Green Beret, fucking like badass fucking soldier. Nobody has anything bad to say about him. Nothing, like he was fucking crazy out of his mind. So 2 days before, or even maybe it was the day before, he's trying to reach out to people that are in the, like, that have a big following, because he wants to get a message out. He ends up reaching out to this guy who is on the, and maybe you could look his name up, because I'm drawing a blank right now. He was on the, this guy comes on the Sean Ryan podcast, but when you figure out his name, he has like a Instagram account that he created after getting out of the military, where it's basically memes and jokes and shit like that. So he reaches out to this guy, and he sends him an email and does all this. Like, they go through all this channels to back and forth, because obviously he doesn't want to get caught ahead of time. But basically what he says is like, hey, look, here's me. Here's all my credentials. You can double check as much of this as you want and have time to. Did you find that guy's name?
His Instagram is Terminal CWO.
Yes.
I'm trying to. I'll find his name. I forget the guy's name, but yeah, that's his Instagram.
Yeah. So I'm trying to remember the process. So he says, hey, reach out to me. I want to share this. So then he sends. Finally, they get on a secure channel. They use what's it called? What's that email chain?
Proton.
Thank you, Proton email. Sends them the email. And it basically says, like, hey, I've been with the military for this long. I want to tell you about a couple of things. And first he starts talking about the drones that were in New Jersey, and how, like, those and the balloons are like China's research center that basically to let us know, like, they could fuck us up at any point in time. Like, he worked on drones. He was like a drone specialist for the military, part of his background, all this stuff. So that was number one that he started talking about, but he didn't really touch too much base on that. That was like a brief intro to let him know, like, hey, I know what shit's going on. The big thing was he brings up, like, that the United States killed all these innocent people in 2019 in Afghanistan by targeting civilians at, like, drug factories and stuff like that. And the United Nations actually considered it a war crime, but then, like, admin basically fucking covered the story up. And he was part of the cover up. And he was like, it sounds like he was like at that point where he's like, I'm tired of holding this in. Like, people need to know what's going on in the world, da 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 da. So then he decides to blow up a Cybertruck in front of the Trump Tower and fucking let people know this is like a wake up call, not a terrorist attack. And so at first you're like, yeah, what? Okay, so you're a fucking crazy conspiracy theorist. But it turns out he was a Green Beret. He was a fucking legit, like, badass. He fucking, all this shit was true. Then you find out that here's a guy who's specialized in explosives and all this stuff, like knew all this stuff, but he basically built a cyber truck. First of all, he picked a cyber truck, which we know of from Elon. They talk about how it's like bulletproof and stuff like that. They fill it with a bunch of kind of crap. Like if he wanted to really turn it into a fucking huge fucking explosive device, he could have, but it was like fireworks and a bunch of other stuff. So it would incinerate, making, a noise and basically explosion, but it would be contained. He didn't want to take out the fucking building or anything or kill innocent people. And so then they find out, like now we're starting to hear this. Then he starts bringing up this weird stuff after the fact, like his phone number, his safe number on his, what's it called account, his Signal account changed after the explosion went off, which can only happen if you're inside your account. So the dude may still be alive. I don't know.
Well, to me, that like based on, because I don't know as much about this, so just on the information you're giving me, he's basically telling you that there's drones that are basically spying on us or whatever, and then you have and he's trying to tell you how easily manipulated this technology is. And then he blows up a truck. Doesn't really want to kill people. Just wants to prove a point. Like, hey, look, if I blow this truck up and with these explosives in it, like I can hack into this and do this at any time. Yeah, I mean, I don't understand why he would want to kill himself, to do that. You know what I mean?
Well, that's the thing. Like now it's like, okay, they're like, well, the DNA inside the truck didn't match his son's, so they're saying maybe he just found out that his son wasn't his, and he just went off the deep end. When the other people were like, or maybe it's not who fucking, it's not his son's fucking dad, and it's somebody else that he just rolled a body up and he did it in a Tesla.
Maybe it was like if
because
somebody
he
was
could
already dead or
self-park
something.
that bitch by a Tesla. You could just say, hey, pick me up at the fucking front of the Trump Tower, and the fucking thing will pull right up there, and you can just detonate it. Like,
and if you're gonna do some shit like that, like one of the best ways to not get caught is for the government to think you're dead. You know what I mean?
100%. And you're in fucking Mexico right now.
Yeah,
Like,
they're not looking for dead people.
There's a lot of weirdness with this one. It's going to be really interesting to track this, right? Because New Year's Day hits. We had the fucking wacko down in New Orleans that plowed through a bunch of people, then got in the shootout. Like,
not only a wacko, but they made it sound like the truck just came over the border 2 days before it, but then you find out that he's a United States citizen.
Right.
That spent 20 years in the military as well.
Also in the military. And I think, I don't know. I don't know any better. I'm not investigating this, but maybe they're related. I mean, they're related by their, both military, and it was the same day, and
that's what I was gonna ask.
both trucks were rented. Like there's some weird
similarities,
but yeah, if you follow this kind of linear, so New Year's Day comes and, you hear about it, truck pulls up to the Trump building, blows up. So then you automatically think, okay, is this a targeted attack, et cetera, et cetera. So dude's name was Sam Shoemate or Shumati, but the guy who belongs to that Instagram account that went on Sean Ryan's show. But
gotcha.
And if you watch the full episode, you can get the actual copy of the quote unquote manifesto. But so, this guy Sam was also, special operations guy. He's, an intelligence officer. That was his MOS.
He was a chief warrant officer.
Right. So he's not just, some clown that woke up from mom's basement and said, "Oh, I'm going to get on here." But there's this, and then there's also, it hasn't been a retraction, but there's just been a lot of weird things. Like, is it possibly, cover up to say that, we tested DNA, it doesn't match any of his family, so they're maybe trying to work a narrative like, nah, this was not any part of any plan. Like, he found out that, kid he raised is not his, that set him off. That's part of a possible story.
Well, I'm just reading here too. So it says that the body was burned beyond recognition, so they didn't have 100% confirmation of it. But his body was burnt 100%. However, they were able to find several credit cards, an iPhone, a military ID, and multiple firearms inside the. So
conveniently,
couldn't distinguish his body.
Yeah, but plastic made it through the fire.
Plastic and his fucking iPhone made it through. Like, I'm sorry, that means his body was probably pre-burned before it pulled up. Like, and then it just took the burn.
They self-drove the truck over there.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I would think.
Yeah. Now they're also So this Sam, I meant to send this to you from after when I watched this. So he's on another podcast where I think he could be doing a little bit of damage control in case there is a retraction.
Gotcha.
Because he also came back and said, well, now there's a report that the driver, and I don't have the driver of the Tesla. If y'all can look that up. But so there's also a report that
his name was Master Sergeant Matthew Allen
Livelsberger. That's what it is.
37 years old, still active soldier. So he was not retired.
So they're playing the PTSD angle. They're also now saying that he's on behavioral mods, and a couple of days before he changed his meds. And so they're potentially trying to go down the road of like, okay, yeah, this guy, is on meds that they use to treat schizophrenia and whatnot, and might just have lost his shit beforehand.
That's the one in New Orleans.
No, this is
that's
the Vegas Trump guy.
The guy who actually is in the car, not the.
Yeah.
The guy who's the other guy was in a shootout with police, and
this is the Shane Livels or whatever his name was, the guy that was on the Sean Ryan podcast, that he came out and said this afterwards.
Sam Shoemate he was on a podcast this morning talking about, well, now I'm getting more information, talking about his meds and whatnot. So that's out there, or that's going to be probably in the news cycle tomorrow, I'm guessing.
Yeah. So my concern with that would be like, where are you getting this information suddenly?
Right.
Like,
yeah.
Come on, let's not play.
And what's the motive? You know what I mean? Like, it's hard for me to believe that like it's just a crazy person that went and killed everybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Because he didn't kill anybody for one. Nobody was harmed or injured, if I'm not mistaken. At all, which is fucking mind-boggling. Like,
and this guy's a pretty smart dude.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So, I mean, the fireworks in the back of a truck ain't exactly going to blow people up. You know what I mean?
And I'm interested to see, what comes of this 2019. What we were just talking about, the 2019 war or crimes against crimes. Sorry, gosh.
Yep.
The 2019 war crimes in Afghanistan. If that was something that, if it's actually investigated into now.
Yeah, and here's what I'm struggling with. This is that, okay, if he did this and he's still alive, so who's the fucking body? Like, okay, was that somebody that he rolled up and kidnapped, or did he go dig that out of a grave somewhere? Like, so if he faked his own death and he's still alive, like that is going to require like an incredible amount of resources to keep yourself alive and off the radar for the rest of your life. Cause it's not like in the movies where then all of a sudden that one lone, special agent hiding in a corner, in DC believes your story and then comes and rescues you and then roll credits, happy ending. Like, no, like in this situation, like you've committed arson, potentially murder. Like you're going to be in prison for the rest of your life, bro.
Yeah. It's considered a terrorist attack. At that point.
And they're investigating it as a terrorist attack. But so I guess you get back to motive. So like, okay, I get it. You're trying to contact Sean Ryan, Joe Rogan, all these guys, and you want to be a whistleblower and all that stuff. You can do that, and you can do that protected. You don't have to go blow up a truck and fake your own death or kill yourself. Like, why? If it was him in there and he killed himself at the same time, set a timer for the explosives, covered himself in gasoline or other accelerants, like, okay, like I understand that, but to whistleblow on something this big, why would you kill yourself in the process? Like,
I think like the fake death thing makes sense to me because there's a lot of people that have threatened to go and out the government and then all of a sudden end up missing or kill themselves. How many Clinton people have?
Oh my God.
All of them that
just end up accidentally killing themselves.
Dude, that's so fucking crazy when you hear. And then like the story never gets like investigated.
Yeah. Or like people like that have any type of information. Even like when they killed Epstein, I 100% think that was supposed to happen, like per government instruction, because that dude knew it all, right? So, okay, how can I save face? How can I maybe not die? Is I'm gonna just spill it, and out everybody else who was doing all the shit, whatever. So
Why not? It's no different than the Diddy shit. Like, why is the Diddy shit like fucking? Why does it keep going quiet?
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm surprised
Like,
that dude hasn't gone missing. To be honest with you,
100%. Because there's some fucked up shit, and there's probably like some, you know what I mean? But like, it just disappears off the fucking news cycle like periodically, and then something will come out about it, and then it disappears off the news cycle.
did you hear about? I don't want to change the subject because it was really good, but the Carl Winslow one.
Yeah,
They said that Carl Winslow got Diddy, and I was like, no way, dude.
dude.
not
Somebody
Carl.
told the story of that. Oh my god, I gotta fucking see if I can find that right now.
I don't know if that's true or not, but Carl Winslow says it's not. But if I was Carl Winslow, I'd say it wasn't too.
Fuck no, I wouldn't say that was accurate. Yeah, but the story is like fucking hilarious.
Yeah, that is crazy.
It'd be a shame if they killed Diddy. We're getting such great content.
The
out of
content,
this whole
yeah.
story.
Just monetize the content so they kill
Like,
it.
he's dying right now. Like as we were fucking talking about this, like we can go live right now.
Yeah, dude.
Live from my fucking basement,
Did he accidentally hung himself?
dude. But
With
it's
his
like
own dick.
and baby oil. Yeah. He slipped on the baby oil. They let him have it.
Yeah,
But it's funny because like we talk about all these different stories, and like of course there's conspiracy theories, but there's also conspiracy theories like when you talked about the lab leak during COVID-19, and you talk about all the different shit for and like it takes so long to do the research on it, and like we live in a world where it's like we talked about earlier, it's like that instant fucking gratification. So everybody blows up the news cycle. Diddy was the everything for so long on social media, TikTok, YouTube, regular news, and then nobody did the work, so the story died. And then they had to come up with the next hot thing, and then the next hot thing, and then God forbid, on New Year's Day, fucking an idiot drives his truck through fucking what's it called, New Orleans,
Bourbon
kills
Street.
with a gun, kills 15 fucking people, and the story's already lost. Like right now, like nobody's talking about it. In fact, even when it happened, like I was like, I didn't find out until the next day. Like, and I don't even remember where it came up, and I was like, what? Yeah. And I was like walking with my wife, and I was like, fuck, did you know someone fucking drove through fucking Bourbon Street and killed 15 people last night? Fucking, and then I find out they shot cops and all this stuff, and I'm like,
well, that's what they say. That's why a lot of these social issues are front and center. So you don't pay attention to that stuff. That stuff that actually matters, because we're all worried about transgenders and shit. You know what I mean? So,
it's a great distraction.
Yeah.
Um,
abortion, transgender, like the government doesn't really give a shit about that stuff. You know what I mean?
Fuck no, dude. They're not making any money off of that.
Yeah, they want the behind the scenes stuff to go through, And I think that it's interesting, like, talk about conspiracy theories. There's a lot of proven shit too, like stuff that like, oh, well, yeah, look at JFK, dude. All that bullshit in there is,
Dude, that's a perfect example. Like that's a perfect example when you talk about JFK.
Yeah.
You talk about like what we were just bringing up now with this guy on that blows up the Cybertruck, right? Like that story is lost.
Yeah.
So what? 60 years from now, when everybody's fucking dead and gone from this fucking time frame, that's when the real story's going to come out, because that's what's going to happen with JFK.
Well, JFK, they were supposed to have already released all the information
Multiple
and
times.
everybody's dead pretty much for the most part
Yeah.
that was involved in that, whatever. So like they were supposed to have released it, the Warren Commission findings and all this stuff, whatever, and they just never did. And I've been to the grassy knoll, dude. I've seen it, and I was like, huh. And like the more I went there thinking, yeah, there's probably another shooter. And then I saw the building. Oh, yeah, maybe he could have done this on his own. And then I started really looking into it. I think it was an inside job, dude. CIA fucking took him out, dude.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
Yeah, they didn't like the direction it was going, the motivation. I always try to find the motive. Like, what was the motive for this?
Yeah, because
So-
he was generally well liked by the public.
Yeah. Well,
Like-
and I think, correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I think they wanted to go into Vietnam. He didn't want to go into Vietnam.
Yes.
Right? Wasn't
Well,
that the
it
thing?
was more than that too, because it has to do with like the Bay of Pigs and shit like that,
Mm-hmm.
where like they lied to him and like, oh, we're not gonna fucking achieve any casualties or something like that.
Yeah.
And then we did, and he's like, fuck it, I don't want to do this or
Yep.
something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe I can find out a little bit more information what you're thinking.
I know that they did have a theory about like the mob killing him because he was banging that one mobster's wife or whatever, but I don't think that was a thing. I think that was like a side story to keep you distracted from the real thing, And also they had Robert was going after the mob trying to shut him down or whatever, so that was like a good like alternative narrative,
War is the largest industry on the planet.
Exactly.
There's
Whenever you
nothing-
want to know what's what, you just follow the money. That's
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah. Absolutely. and I, that's your motive right there. And he wanted to shut down the Vietnam War, which meant, all those contracts to Bell Helicopter, to General Dynamics for jets and all those things. Like,
Eisenhower said something about, and I'm paraphrasing here, but he said something about like war is so profitable that as long as war is profitable, you'll never not have war.
Yeah.
And he's like, you need to make war not profitable anymore.
So he said that in his outgoing speech. He gave the military industrial complex speech that he gave that was his address as he was leaving the White House. It's super famous. And it's a little terrifying, to get that from a U.S. president.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny too because I just saw something the other day, and like now that we're bringing this up, it made me think about it. So I was trying to pull it up, but he apparently in that process, he then says that private healthcare is like the second biggest thing. So nobody ever talks about that. I don't know if that's actually true. I'm gonna look that up. I'm literally reading it as we're going through here, but
The business of keeping people sick, dude. I was watching a thing the other day about how cancer's already cured, and they're not
Well, do you
gonna
know
do it.
diabetes is cured right now?
I believe that.
No. I mean, believe it or not, China has developed not a vaccine but a therapy where
It's like an artificial pancreas.
No. They literally they designed a drug to make your old pancreas start working again.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, and it's with using stem cells.
Okay.
To revitalize the pancreas, supposedly.
I wonder if that's why stem cell research was so controversial back in the day.
I mean,
it was so powerful.
It's retarded. Like literally, my friend sent me this. Even my own doctor said it's probably will not come to the U.S. for a long time because that's billions of dollars they're thrown away if they bring the cure to the U.S.
Yeah.
Billions of dollars.
Well, there's a couple problems with curing these things. The first thing is the population part of it, but there is actually a direct negative economic impact if they were to cure cancer. Like, just let's poll ourselves here. Do you guys have any idea what cancer treatment is?
I'm guessing billions, probably 15 billion a year.
It's probably the most,
over
I think 15 billion a year.
Yeah.
it's
For cancer
probably-
treatment?
it's
I'd say 100
like
billion.
spent in cancer treatment.
Yep.
I'd say 100.
As a business, right? You got
I would say overall you got it right in the trillions.
Is this the world or the U.S.?
I think it's the
Yeah.
trillions.
Trillions?
So, 230 billion annually is spent on cancer treatment. So, if you just were to take 200 billion out of circulation in any business on this planet, that's an economy killer right there.
Yeah.
Immediately to take that out of circulation. So, all jobs, and I mean jobs being the biggest, but just in money circulating through the economy. Like, that's how an economy works, right?
Yeah.
If one person has all the money, then there's no more economy because the dollars aren't moving anymore, right?
So
Well, I understand, like, they don't want to, like bring cures out too fast to, like, done enough research into the cure, or there might be some long-term, what's it called? Long-term fucking problems, side effects, problems. And again, there's some side effects that have been going on in certain, like, therapies and stuff. But is it worth the side effects? I think going blind, not losing a limb,
Dick stop working.
yeah, that stuff.
Yeah, I'll take the cancer. Over the dick stop working.
Fine. You can have the
I got
arms.
stage 4 cancer, but my dick's hard as fuck.
But I mean, at that point, there's the amount of money that's spent in healthcare in general.
Oh, sick.
We talked about it. I think we were talking about it last night at dinner, David. Like the amount of money that's like donated to these different causes and things like that, and like the percentage that's actually spent on the cause. And I get people hear like nonprofit, like. The definition of nonprofit just means that the organization can't fucking walk away with fucking.
It doesn't mean you
profit.
can't make money working for the organization.
Correct.
Yeah. Nonprofit's the biggest scam in the world, dude.
Yeah, it is. Other than religion, religions might be the biggest scam
That
in
one,
the world. In the sense of the way that it's, the way that the money's used, the way that it's tax free, the way all of those different things, and the way that churches went from 100 people under a small building to a fucking
Thousands.
like stadiums.
Yeah.
So
like, it's just changed the way. But those are a couple of different things. Like Yeah, it's a scam. They're taking people's money. It's all about the money. Everything's become about the money. It kind of ruins what it
So
stands
for fun, what's healthcare worth in just the U.S.
Oh God,
How much
trillions
annually?
Trillions.
What do you think?
How much does the U.S. population spend on healthcare? You're saying?
Yeah. What's it worth as a business just in the U.S.? It's the biggest, obviously.
It's
'cause-
definitely in the trillion. It's got to be, I don't know, 30 trillion. I would guess that.
Yeah. Not quite that high.
3 to 4 trillion.
Yeah, it's just under $5 trillion annually.
You could have told me it was 100 trillion. I would have believed you.
Oh, I mean,
Yeah.
Well, on
wild?
just in diabetes cost care in 2022, it's $412 billion.
Just in diabetes.
Just in diabetes.
Which is funny because diabetes is one of those things like, while you can be more prone to it because of family history, it still comes down to diet, exercise.
Yeah, it's type 2 especially.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's curable. And the thing is, too, is like, okay, so you think about that. How much money is being made in healthcare? So guess what healthcare is going to do? Hey, we should really make sure McDonald's is going to get promoted really good, and Kentucky Fried Chicken, and all this fucked up, back to the food again, food that you're going to eat that's going to promote you getting diabetes. You know what I mean? We're going to make these food regulations really lenient so we could put all this trash in the food to really fuck you up, you know?
Well, you're talking about fast food. I was watching Discovery Channel a few weeks ago. They did a study on rats and food they eat and what it does to the nervous system and the circulatory system. Well, they did one with fast food during McDonald's, and then they gave salad, normal meat and stuff for a couple of weeks, and they had them go through a maze. And the rats that ate the normal food, the regular salads, plain stuff, and there was no additives and stuff, went through the maze in a couple of minutes. The rats that had the fast food and that ate all that stuff with all that stuff in it, processed stuff, it took them hours to go through the maze.
Yep.
Hours.
Yeah, I could believe that.
Hours.
It's crazy too. Like, if you think about how the money is, like with health insurance, and how health insurance works with the medical industry, and how, I mean, we all have heard the stories of like, oh, I went to the ER and I got an aspirin. It was $200 for 2 aspirin or whatever, and then they negotiate this bill or whatever. But the insurance companies, they basically socialized healthcare to a sense, to where like you pay a certain amount of money for insurance every month, and then if you get sick, you can use your health insurance. Well, same thing with like that's basically socialism essentially, you know. But they've got a guaranteed payment coming in every month for these health insurance companies of whatever, $300 a person or whatever for your plan or whatever a month.
Fuck, families are like $1,500.
Yeah.
Yeah. So think about that. And if you're a healthy family, you know what I mean? Like my family's pretty healthy. It's me, my wife. I got 3 kids. I'm actually the one that use it the most because I always fuck myself up at the gym. So yeah. But other than that, like everybody's healthy. We get a sports physical every year, and my wife goes to the lady doctor or whatever. You know, and that's about it.
Gets
you know,
tits grabbed.
yeah,
Or whatever.
yeah. Feel her up a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, whatever. She don't have to get the birth control anymore because I got snipped. I told that story on here too. But but yeah. So you know, very minimal amount of work, but they're still getting their money. They're still getting paid. That money's still going into a pool. And then when somebody does collect on it, guess what? The medical industry is billing the shit out of the insurance. You know?
Well, and that's the thing too. Like, I mean, I work for a fucking company that's got a net worth of like $14 billion, and like our health insurance sucks. Like, I go to the doctor for anything, and they're gonna fucking find a way to charge me $300 to $400 a visit. Like, you know, my wife, like, when she did get COVID, like she went to the doctor because she was really sick, and the first test did her like, oh, you don't have strep throat, you don't have anything. She was in and out in like 30 seconds. So that was like the one. And then we had to go back because she was still sick and it wasn't getting any better. And they're like, oh yeah, you have this, like, just fucking nuts, dude. And it's not like you can go back and argue like, no, don't fucking pay that doctor because they just fucking got me in and out in fucking 30 seconds and didn't accomplish nothing. I had to go back to another doctor. Your insurance company doesn't give a fuck. They just want you to pay them for fucking what they didn't already invest in.
You're paying the insurance company, right? You're going to pay the physicians or wherever you go to see. You're going to pay the pharmaceutical companies. Like all these people are collecting from you because you got, you know, whatever, you got the flu. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. No. My favorite thing is when I go to the doctors, I have you guys have copays. Do you guys have copays when you go to the doctor?
Yeah.
I don't have a copay. I got to pay out my deductible. My deductible, it depends on the year, depends on my company.
Well, it
wants
depends
to,
on what you signed up for.
Yeah,
too.
what our company signs up for. My average, my lowest cost deductible has been $8,000. a year.
Jesus.
$8,000 a year. That's what and I have to pay to that before the insurance will pick up anything.
Oh, yeah.
Anything.
I can't remember what those plans are called, but they suck.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
those are called consumer plans or
Yeah.
something.
Oh, I get so
my
mad.
company's the
They
same way.
suck. Yeah.
Yeah, they're terrible for the fucking actual
Yeah.
person, but
Yeah.
the company fucking that's selling
Yeah.
it gets
But
away.
because what happens is the government requires as an employer for you to offer healthcare benefits
Yeah,
if you're for full-time employees or whatever. So you can offer just really shitty healthcare benefits, right? Whatever, or you can offer a better plan that okay, here you pay this much, and then you can whatever you get a normal copay, normal whatever. They also have the PPO plans or whatever, where
Yeah.
it's basically like a savings account where you
Yeah.
pull all
Yeah,
this
it's
money
like,
out, and then you get access to that or whatever. But I tell you what, when I had my surgeries done, I would always try to get whatever I need in that year because
Yeah.
my deductible is met, so I don't have to pay shit for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. That's
is
the way to
crazy.
plan
Yeah.
it. And my deductible's not bad. I think it's $2,500, but
I
still,
I wished I had something like
Mine's
that.
high, mine's not quite your high, but it's more than yours.
yeah. But at the same point in time, $2,500. Like, I'm not going to the doctor that much.
Yeah, where you got a $40 copay or some shit. You know,
I don't even get a fucking copay, dude. It's like
Oh, that's great.
one inspection. No, I'm saying I get one fucking check-in a year, like a physical, and then anything else I go is 100% I pay until my deductible's met.
Oh, that's like the same as his. Yeah,
Yeah, it's a shit fucking plan. It's
well,
garbage.
well-
Like when I worked for the Germain Auto Group down in Columbus, best fucking healthcare ever, and they're a fraction of what this company's valuation is. So it's like obviously it's also different. Like people in California got great healthcare, fucking through the same company. But we're it's a hot fucking mess,
give a
dude.
guess what my diabetes medication costs a month.
I think you told me it's like $200-$350.
Well, it depends. Like my whole medical for all my diabetes per month is about $1,800 a month.
That's fucking
Now, is that
nuts, dude. It's
higher
insane.
or lower than your Taco Bell bill?
That's a lot lower.
Evan's prime example, right?
Yeah, 100%. Like if Evan ate healthier, he wouldn't need fucking to spend $1,800.
I would no.
And dude, I'm gonna tell you right now, I joke about this all the time, but you need to fucking start taking that shit more seriously. Because
Oh,
the
I
last
do.
thing you want to do, no, you don't take it seriously at all. You're like, there's been times we're about to start the podcast and your alarm just goes off saying you're gonna die if you don't fucking eat, and you're over here eating like 4 candy bars and fucking.
about
That's
like
because I have low blood sugar.
I know.
What about like a pump? You don't do it.
Oh, well, that's the thing. My insurance will not cover the pump until I pay. Either I have to pay the $9,000, and then per pump, it's about $700 per pump because of these little Omni pads that you get placed on. They're about $500 for the pad,
A piece?
a piece, and and they last about 10 to 15 days. So
like
every 10 to 15
$1,000 a month for a pump.
yeah,
It's called an Omni pad. Isn't that the same
Om-
thing girls wear once a
Omni
month?
pump.
Oh, Omni pump.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
Omni
said
pump.
Omni pad.
He did say pad.
I did say pad, but Omni pump.
The pads are a lot less.
Yeah,
You get
the-
those at Walgreens.
Yeah, you just stick them in there. Problem solved. Other than,
But my thing is like it would probably way more affordable, and I know you love your food, but like it would probably way more affordable to go on a diet that's built around diabetes in order to help you like start to come.
Oh,
off of it.
I told you, I'll
Don't
show
talk
you.
about
is
your
it
meal
type-
prep.
I'll
I
show
eat
you
Taco
my-
Bell every fucking weekend.
Is it type 1 or type 2?
Every weekend I indulge myself because Monday through Friday I eat meal prep, and I'll send you the photos when I'm done with my meal prep.
You know what? I want to see a meal
Yeah.
prep picture every day.
Type 1 or
this week.
type 2?
Type 1.
Okay, so that's a little bit harder to cure, but you can
Yeah.
definitely make a
Yeah,
difference.
it's a maintainable. And I eat Monday through Friday. I eat chicken, rice, broccoli, sweet potato. I'm not even supposed to eat sweet potato because of the dense carbs. They want me to stay away from dense carbs. So sometimes I like to do sweet potato because it's a little bit better than frickin' what are those? Eggs, rice, what else?
chicken wings at the bar.
That's again the chicken wings.
Taco
Potato
fucking-
chips,
Did
you
you
know,
see that
like-
fucking enchilada or something upstairs?
Oh yeah,
What was
I had
that?
a little enchilada with 2 tacos. I was happy with that.
Yeah, I bet you were. Fucking, I'm sure your
again-
diabetes.
Oh my
Bro.
Dude,
Listen,
funny story though. I gotta share this real quick before I forget. Dude, favorite breakfast food for me has now become, dude, the Gerber baby food.
Oh, you love it. He loves it.
Dude,
you first
I-
posted, you're like, I don't know if this is great. I'm like, dude, it's good, dude. Trust me. Yeah.
So one of the things that I started doing is instead of doing a cup of water, I started doing a little bit less than 3/4, and it makes it a little bit more thicker.
Yeah.
Instead of me sitting there like the
Yes.
soup like in the morning because
Yeah,
it's
it's
like
more
in
like
my
mashed
beard and
potatoes.
shit. I'm like
Yeah.
wiping my it's more like mashed. And I was like, this is actually not fucking bad.
It's
Like,
good.
I mean, it
Put your
doesn't
protein-
taste bad.
You put your
And-
protein powder in there or no?
Yeah, I I
good
did
flavor.
exactly what you guys said. I put the scoop of the chocolate fucking protein powder in there. I put like a little bit more than a teaspoon of fucking. I put basically a tablespoon scoop of fucking peanut butter. The rice, 3/4 water. I fucking mix it up a little bit. Put it in the microwave for 45 seconds, dude. And breakfast is served, dude. And I was like, it's funny because my wife's like, "What the fuck?" And I was like, "I'm gonna try it. I gotta at least try it." Like you could buy the fucking
Yeah.
baby thing for like $4, right? And $4 gives you like I think it's like 16 cups worth, so
Yeah,
that's like
it's a
a
lot.
whole month.
Yeah.
So I was like, I can literally eat breakfast for $34 a month.
Yeah. It's cheap.
See, I like my morning oats and hard boiled eggs.
Oats are fine. It's actually the polar opposite of those two. So
Okay.
So the oats are really, really slow digesting. It's like one of the slowest things that you could eat, which is good, especially if you're dieting and you want to stay satiated for longer. The oats are good. Plus they have good fiber in them. It's a good food.
Well,
I'm not knocking the oats.
I mix like just morning oats, oatmeal, morning oats, yogurt, and protein powder. That's all I mix together.
Sure, yeah.
And then 1 or 2 hard boiled eggs every
Mine
morning.
was more so like because I've been trying to have better workouts in the morning.
Yeah,
Okay.
yours
You're-
digests
yeah.
a lot faster, so it's in and out of your system, and you're going to get that. Usually, you put like peanut butter in with it or anything.
Yeah.
So the peanut butter, the fat regulation will help slow digestion down a little bit, so you can digest it at a more reasonable rate. So that way, you're constantly refilling your glycogen. You don't get a spike and then a drop. So yeah, that's a good way to do it. And it's funny you talk about the two easy breakfasts, but they're polar opposites. Like on a non-training day, that would be a great
Yeah,
option.
yeah.
On a if you're getting up in the morning to go to the gym,
see-
your meal's the best thing.
He goes to the gym every morning. Mine's evening. Always evening
I'm an evening
during the
guy, too.
week.
Yeah.
But I eat that same meal he eats before I go. I just
Okay.
use, instead of baby food, I use cream of rice, which is
Same thing.
basically same thing. Yeah, it's granulated rice. You put it in the microwave, whatever. It's
Yeah.
good. So
I like cream.
But I was
rice.
surprised it was funny because I was like, I guess I'll fucking try this. Like, what the
Yeah.
fuck? And I was like, I'm gonna challenge myself to eat chicken and rice for a week. That was harder only because like my wife wanted to go to dinner on a Friday night. So like, yeah, okay. But if I was like, if I can like just so like now it's like I already prepped my chicken today. Like my meals are already covered for the week. It's so much fucking cheaper too. That's what I told my wife.
it's
I was
easy.
like-
You just grab it. You don't even think about it.
I was like, well, and that's the thing. Like, so my other thing is like, I can't just eat chicken and rice. But now I've got it set. Like, I put it like a fucking couple of teaspoons of fucking sriracha on it.
Yeah.
A little bit of pepper, mix it all together, and fucking overall it tastes fine. It takes me a minute and a half to cook every fucking time I want to eat. Versus like, and here's where I think when people talk about diets and things like this is where it struggles. It's like if you don't prep your food and you get, let's say in the middle, like I went sledding on Saturday with my nephews. So like going up and down, you've ever been to Allendale Hill
Oh,
or
yeah,
whatever?
yeah.
Like that's a big fucking hill. So you go up and down that hill 6 or 7 times, like you're gonna burn some calories, especially like you got all this snow gear on. It's
you
fucking-
might as well be doing cardio.
yeah, so like you get back to the house and I'm like, fuck, I'm starving.
Yeah.
So or you're like, I need to eat on the way home. Right.
ready to go.
And then now
here.
now that I have the food like ready versus otherwise I'm like, what am I gonna eat? I don't have anything prepared at home. I'll just stop at fucking McDonald's on the way home, or I'll just stop at a restaurant on the way home. And even if you eat somewhere like First Watch or something like that serves pretty good food, like now you're sitting there and you're spending $30 on a fucking meal versus the fact I could buy chicken for $30 to last me the whole week.
Well, the thing is too is you're a lot of times even those places that are marketed as healthy, they're cooking with a bunch of oil. Like they're not actually as healthy as they think. They did a whole thing on Subway the one time, like, oh, everybody thinks Subway's healthy. Subway's not healthy at all.
Not
but
at
they
all.
hang a picture of a fucking tomato on the wall, and you think, oh, it's a healthy place. It's not. how it
Don't
works.
they radiate their meats?
Yeah, their meats are super unhealthy.
Yeah,
They're very,
yeah,
very
so-
processed.
yeah, very
Process.
Yeah,
Well,
it's-
I mean, think about it. Literally, fucking spends a week on a fucking truck, a week in the fucking store before it's used. like,
Arby's was ragging on him on a fucking commercial saying like, "Where was your meat cut?" Oh, at
Yeah.
least at Arby's we cut ours fresh. Like,
Yeah.
and Arby's is not fucking healthy at all. You know, so when Arby's is saying you're not healthy, that's pretty not healthy. You know,
for
so.
sure. But I thought that was funny. I just had to share that because I was like, oh, I gotta tell him I'm obsessed with it now.
No, it's I love that, and honestly, like staying on a regimented program like that, like it's really not that hard. And that's what I was gonna say with my coach. So I check in every week with my coach, and I usually do pretty good. And I was in a situation this week where I had to eat. I didn't have a meal on me. I just had to eat the best option. So we ended up eating pasta, or whatever. I ordered a nice pasta dish, and a pretty nice restaurant, so it was pretty cleanly cooked, whatever, best I could do. And I got ripped for like that. And my response is so funny. I was pulled up. I said, yeah, I pretty much told him I did pretty good this week. I did a bunch of extra shit that I don't normally do for mobility work and all this recovery stuff, whatever. And my response was, and I guess this is the difference between like people are trying to be pro at a bodybuilder or whatever, was I put tires on my car, I cleaned the windows, I defogged the headlights. Aside from putting 87 instead of 93, I did great. You know, and it's like, okay, cool, yeah, I did everything right, but I wasn't consistent. You know, so that's the thing is like. To me, it's really not that hard to like be, and that's just being very consistent. I just subbed one meal out for the week, you know.
Right.
So, but I don't get a free meal at all unless it's a holiday, and not lately. Like they'll give me one like on Christmas or whatever. But I don't like right now. We're in the protocol. It's off season too. I just eat what's on my plate.
Are you bulking right now?
Yeah, well, it's like we're staying pretty lean.
Okay.
That's why I don't get any free meals. But I'm trying to get. I weighed in this morning at 249.5. So I still have abs and still pretty tight. So I don't want to get. I want to put on maybe 1 or 2 more pounds of lean muscle and then start to probably cut down. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
Fuck, that's insane, dude. It's hard though. It's not easy.
Yeah.
But once you get it done, it's like I just thought it was cool because I was like, man, for like we're talking about Evan, you know.
Yeah. No, that's where I was going with it because it's not that hard.
Yeah, you could do that.
Oh,
you know,
no.
You just
Again,
gotta- you just have to have it ready.
I
Or
meal
like
prep
10,000
all the
steps in.
time.
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah.
like
Well, this is my other one. I change it up every week. I go chicken, rice, corn,
Jimmy
green beans.
it's like that picture's from 4 years
Why,
ago.
Why has this one got a cheesy gordita crunch in it? If you put it in the container, it's fine. Yeah.
Right. But yeah, it was like the other day. I was like, how am I gonna make sure I get my steps in? So like now, like I'll literally go work out on one side. I'll do an exercise on one side of the gym and an exercise on the other side of the gym. And like the other day, I was like, man, I had 3,500 steps in, and I was like, after my first workout, it was like 7:30 in the morning. I was like, fuck yeah, I'm on a roll.
You know what I do to get steps in is I start cleaning my house. It sounds. I hate cleaning the house, but if I got to do cardio or get steps in, like might as well be productive. So I'll just go like I was short on steps the other day. I went downstairs, organized the whole basement. I'm like,
There you
cool,
go.
this basement needs cleaned up. I need to go through these containers, whatever. All of a sudden, I'm like, oh shit, I'm over my step goal. Good.
Fuck yeah, dude. That's crazy.
But try to do it something you have to do anyways or whatever. You know, that's why. I was saying.
Yeah.
Being productive doing it is not a bad idea. I didn't even thought of doing it that way.
You know what I don't do for steps is I don't mow my lawn. You know,
Oh no! What? Jesus.
Definitely not push mowing.
Yeah,
Even though
fuck
that'd be fucking great cardio. Like fuck that. You know
It
what
would
I
be great, yeah.
You know what I don't do? I do not fucking shovel my driveway.
I don't either.
we drive 4x4s for a reason around here.
Fuck
Like,
yeah. No. I had to shovel my driveway this past weekend because again
I would love to see a video of that happening.
Oh,
you
no,
didn't tell
don't-
me that story because
You have a blower, a snow blower.
we had a snow blower,
That doesn't
but the
count.
fucking dad does not like he's stubborn when it comes. When I was smelling gasoline in the garage, I'm like, motherfucker, I am getting high off these fucking fumes in this garage. Well, my dad pulls out the snowblower. He thinks he's going to snowblow the driveway. Well, he turns it on, starts blowing the driveway. 2 minutes in, it turns off. There's a fucking hole in the gas tank and the snowblower. That's why I'm getting high off these fumes in the garage.
God, that's funny.
I'm like, you guys. I told him the whole week. I'm like, Dad, you got to take this in before this fucking snow comes in because it smells. Something's off. This.
See, he's living at home with his dad. You know what you should have done? You should have just taken that thing in.
I would love to take it in. I'm actually going to do it tomorrow because I'm going to borrow. We're borrowing my uncle's truck.
New Year's
because-
resolution?
No,
New Year, new blower.
no.
Yeah.
I can't get the blower in either of my car, so I got to borrow my uncle's car and put the whole step bitch up there, and then take it to the whatever you call it, the
Holst it, huh?
Holst it up there, Holst it up there,
Hoist
push
it?
it up there.
Evan gets so excited when he's got to do something fucking.
I know. I
He's
got to do
like,
something
I
manly.
gotta do manly work
I
tomorrow.
gotta do Monday walk.
Yeah. I make my kids shovel the driveway. Like,
That's-
if
that's
I go out
really-
there, the snow blowers can turn on, but it
Yeah, no, I mean,
builds character. You know?
and my parents made me fucking do the driveway all the time, shovel the driveway.
As
It
they
really
should have,
wasn't
yeah.
that bad.
No,
It's
yeah.
funny though. I look back and I was like, God, it fucking sucked. We had a rock driveway.
Oh, the gravel driver.
And like you be trying to rag and like get stuck in the frozen rocks, and I'm like, and
Break a lot of shovels,
And
yeah.
my dad, my mom, they both drove 4Runners, and now I look at it as an adult, and I'm like, fuck that. Why am I fucking going out there to fucking shovel snow? Like I just fucking put it in 4-wheel drive. It gets that bad.
Yeah,
Like
just go right over it.
not having it, you know. And all my neighbors in the development, they like it's funny because you see them like come like early November, They got the things you stick in the grass to like mark the edge of the driveway.
so you don't fucking
So that the
yeah,
plow
yeah.
truck comes and plows it or whatever, and I'm just like, oh, you fucking go-getters.
We had this old lady too that lived next door, Mrs. Burke. I had to shovel her driveway too. So anytime I had to shovel driveway, it was 2 driveways. It wasn't just
Oh
mine.
yeah, it's fucking some work.
And she was cheap, so she wouldn't pay me nothing to do that.
Well, I was gonna say back when you were a
Pat
kid,
Mad.
dude, it was probably a big deal to give somebody $10.
Yeah. I would have, dude, if somebody would have started giving me $10, I probably would have started done all the driveways. you know?
Right, like just mow down it, like
Yeah.
fucking every snowstorm, you're making $200. Like that was fucking king fish back then, dude.
Yeah. It's funny how, like, when you're a kid, like, you're like, this sucks so bad when you have to do it. But then when someone pays you, you're like, oh, I can't wait to go do this. you
Yeah,
know?
right. But at least it used to be that way.
That's how-
Now, like fucking every place around here is like hiring, and I'm like, dude, why is there not more fucking kids working at the like? Why is there not more 18-year-old kids working at the gas station? Actually, I don't even think you have to be 18.
Influencers. That's why.
Yeah.
They all want to be influencers.
I don't even think that's it. I don't think they want to do anything.
No, dude, yeah. Well, get this, dude. This is great. This is a good experience for my kids. So over the summertime, I got them this job at this warehouse. They're making $16 an hour. It's a lot.
That's a lot of fucking.
That's a
dude.
lot of
Because your
money.
kids-
For
is this
16
your boy
years
that
old.
was with us at the gym the other day?
Yeah, him and then
Yeah.
my other one. They're both the same age. That's my technically. They're both my kids. But
Yeah, I
one's my
guess.
stepson, one's my biological. But anyways, they got them both this job. It's a good job. Pretty. They're loading tires into containers. Basically, it's pretty. Like, it's work, but it's not that bad, you know. And so
You don't
they,
have to think.
Yeah, they were making good money. They're working 40-hour work weeks. They're bringing home big paychecks. I mean, they both had like $1,000 in their bank account at like 16 years old. It was pretty good. So my other son, Braden, he says, I'm gonna get this job at Five Below. I'm like, all right, cool, man. Yeah, go ahead, work. You know, so because it's not summer anymore. He wants to work during school. They won't let him work during school because of the hours and stuff or whatever. So it's okay. So he got his first paycheck. He worked his ass off all Christmas, doing all the Christmas bullshit at Five Below or whatever. He gets his paycheck. It was like $120. I was like, he was so pissed, dude. He's like, I worked so hard. I was like, how was your paycheck? I heard you got a paycheck. Was it a good one? He's like, no, not at all. And I'm like, why not? He's like, it was only like $120. And I was like, welcome to the world, bro. Like,
Yeah, dude.
Because all he knew was like up at Northgate where I got him a job, like where they were just like paying him $16 an hour to work,
Yeah.
you know? So yeah, these kids,
They don't know the value of money.
the entitlement, dude. And I'm like, yeah. And I was actually like, at first I was like, why would he want to do this? I said, maybe this would be a good thing so he can learn
Yeah.
the value of that job.
Yeah.
Because they both did pretty well at the job, but I kept telling him, like, make sure you guys are good because you want to be able to come back next year. You know, you don't screw this up.
Right.
Now since he did that, he's like, oh, dude, I need to make sure I can work at North Gateway next summer. You know,
Yeah,
he's
I
like,
bet, dude.
They're great.
Well, it's funny too because my daughter, she just started working at PJ Marley's and she likes it. She's doing well. And it's funny because she learned the fucking. I told her the trick. I was like, look, you want to really make the money is you wait for on a Friday or Saturday when somebody else is trying to get rid of a shift.
Yeah.
And you get them to pay you to take their shift. This was when she was working at Romeo's Pizza or whatever before. So like last week I picked her up and she's like, fuck, I don't want to work Sunday, but I'm getting paid $40 on top of, to cover for somebody. And I was like, sweet. So you're gonna make $100 for a 4-hour shift or whatever. Cause that's, she gets paid like 11, 12. I was like, whoa, hey now.
Hey, you okay?
Did somebody let a fucking poodle in here? What the fuck?
Was that the first sneeze on the podcast?
That might have been.
That it was.
But I was like, hey, that's great. And then it's funny because on her app, they can actually see how much they made per shift. She's like, oh, I made $63 that shift, or plus I made $8 in tips or whatever. And I was like, hopefully she's starting to get it. Like, it's never been her thing, like where she wanted to work. But I was like, when you're a kid, like you don't think about it that much. But when you get that first job, and I remember mine because I was 14 and I was working for a landscaping company. And they would let me work 80 hours a week during the summer. It was cash under the table. It was
Slave labor.
$6.20 an hour, but it was under the table.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. $6.20.
And you were probably happy to work it, dude.
Dude, we worked every fucking day, dude. I would be mowing lawns from fucking 7 o'clock in the morning till dark at night every week.
Oh, so you'd mow lawns back then.
Oh yeah, for $6.20 an
I'll give you
hour.
six-
Like
I'll
that
give you
is
$6.
fucking crazy to think about that now. But you get that check at the end of the week, dude. And I remember, I like my first 2 checks, I had enough to buy a dirt bike for that was like $1,000, and I was like, oh fuck yeah! Like I'm not doing anything. I'm just gonna work the rest of my life away. Like this is awesome. Like I can buy dirt bikes and stuff, and it's like. Just wait, kids. Like one day you're gonna work in that money. You don't get to spend it on whatever the fuck you want. You gotta have like rent, utilities, fucking insurance, gasoline, food. Like it's like it goes by so fast. When making money is a cool thing because you get to go to the movies whenever you want.
Yeah.
Put gas in your car to like fuck, now I have to work to pay my bills.
Well, they're learning too. Like, oh, I'm going on these dates. I'm gonna have to pay all this money, and they're like, oh man, maybe I don't want to date these chicks anymore.
Like this fucking chick fucking does not ever want to go Dutch.
Yeah.
Like, she's done.
No, that's
Moving
I mean,
on.
yeah, they go on when they were using my money to go on dates, they were going on dates all the time. Now, I'm like, dude, that's your girlfriend, ain't my girlfriend. Your shit.
Europe. I'm just gonna say Europe.
Yeah.
There's a reason it's called Going Dutch. It's because over there, that's exactly what they do.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah, that's why it's called Going Dutch. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, does that work if you move to Europe and you have to tell your wife, like, hey, just so you know, since we're moving to Europe, everything's different now. Like, you don't pay for half.
Everything. Here's your bill for the mortgage. Okay. Here's your card payment.
Going Dutch because we're now Dutch.
It's so funny because my wife and I, we get in these stupid arguments about, like, fucking who paid for what or, like, who pays for what. Or,
Yeah, as if it matters, right?
Yeah, like, and it's like, or when I buy something stupid for myself that costs money, and it's just like, you just buy all this stuff all the time, and da 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 da. And she's, you know, and it's like, then we get into a fight, and it's like, babe, like, you could definitely work like an extra 3 days a week. We don't have any kids in the house. Like, you could literally work 12 hours a day if you want, and make a fuckload more money if that's what you really want.
And then take all that money and spend it on yourself.
Yeah,
'Cause I don't care.
yeah, because I don't need any of it, and but like that's not for her, and that's fine. I didn't marry her because she's a workaholic, but it's just funny because it's when she brings that up and she says that stuff, and I'm like, yeah, like, I mean, I'm fortunate now because I get to work from home and I travel a little bit, but like I also, like, from the age of like 17 when I joined the Army till 3 years ago, I was working anywhere from 60, 70, 80 hours a week, like all the time. Didn't take days off. Answered my phone on a Sunday. Didn't get, I didn't have a weekend off for probably 20 years. So it's like I put in the fucking dues, like, to enjoy this now, but don't get it twisted. Like, if tomorrow I had to go back to working 7 days a week, 12 hours a fucking day, like,
To pay the bills, that's what you got to do.
I would fucking do it. You know what I mean? And
Well, that's the difference between, I think, males and females. Males are more oriented to work. They're used to bringing in the money. They're used to working constantly. Like my grandfather and my dad, before my mother forced my dad to retire, he said he would work his rest of his life. He liked making the money. He liked paying the bills. He was brought up to work, to bring in the income, to bring in the stability in the family. To today's society, most women want a man like that, and some men are not used to that now.
I don't even know what women want anymore.
Oh, that's the truth. Don't even start.
Nobody knows what women want, right?
No.
That's the main problem.
If only I had a Mel Gibson thing where I slipped and fell and I could hear everything my wife
Dude,
said.
I think that would make it worse because then it'll change every 30 seconds. You know what I mean? So
like that one conversation where he's like, yeah.
that's a great movie.
But at the same point in time, like, I feel like there would be a lot of benefits to it. If I could literally hear everything, like, that would just make my life simpler.
well, then you don't never have to wonder what you're arguing about.
Yeah. Like, are you upset today? No, I'm fine.
I'm fine. Whoa. All right. Dude, we have an interesting dynamic, me and my wife, where, like, we've been together 13 years, married for
Easy. Goddamn.
I just started laughing when you said that.
Goddamn, you're about to hock up a fucking diabetes needle.
Yeah. It must be the Baja Blast.
Yeah. Wait, are you even supposed to be drinking that?
I'm not drinking that. I'm drinking the water.
It's just there for decoration. We're sponsored by Taco Bell. You didn't know. But no, we have an interesting dynamic where, like, we've been together, like I said, 13 years almost, and married 6, and we have separate bank accounts. Like, I don't know how much she has in her bank account. She don't know how much
Same
is mine.
here, yeah.
And then we have a joint account. If we need to move money back and forth, hey, I need some money. Okay, here you go. Whatever. Usually it's me moving money. Never. But every once in a while, she'll, hey, here's a couple bucks for bills or whatever. Cool. And she spends probably more than I would like, I'm sure, on makeup. And I don't ask. I don't want to know. Yeah. And I collect cards, and so I probably spend more than she would like on my card collection. She don't ask. So whatever it is. And she used to do this thing all the time where, like, if I asked her how much on the lunch, it was $20. Oh, it was just $20. Everything was $20. She'd come home with a new fucking washing machine. How much was that? $20.
Facebook Marketplace.
Well, that's like my wife would ask me how much I spent, especially when I was really into sports.
Just tell her
cards.
$20.
She was like, "How much you spent?" I don't know, like $30. Well, so then she found out that I was, like, doing these live card breaks online, and she would just fucking pull up the YouTube video.
Yeah.
I saw the fucking the return address were from Buck City Breaks. You spent $30, huh? And she, like, looked for my fucking name on the fucking thing. It'd be like $120. She'd be like, "You spent $120 on that break last night, and your name was up there twice." And I was like, fuck.
240. All right.
Why do you lie to me? I don't know. Why are we talking about?
Don't ask questions you want to hear the answer to.
By the way, his wife is a detective.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dude, that's a woman thing, dude.
Yeah,
my wife's
it
the same
is.
way, dude. If you want to know some dirt on somebody, go ask my wife, dude. She got spies out there.
Get her like 20 minutes, dude.
Dude, she'll
Fucking,
find it, yeah.
20 minutes of cell phone and you're fucking done for, dude.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I actually told her at one point, she was like, I'm tired of being a barber. I don't know if I want to cut hair anymore. Da, 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 da. It's like, dude, you should go work for a law firm. Be a fucking investigator for a law firm or something like that. Like, you could like prove your worth like in fucking one day. They'd be like, holy shit, I didn't even need to know how much money they had in their 18th bank account, but thanks. You know, like shit.
You'd be like, I think Evan's seeing somebody. Within 30 minutes, she'll have every chick that's liked this post in the last 20 days, you know, whatever.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god, that's like when your wife suddenly reaches out. She's like, "Who's this person?" Be like, "I don't know, no big deal." Are you sure you liked their photo on day 32 of last week and da 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 at 6:45 p.m.? What were you doing at that point? Did you? And at that same point in time, you totally shady buttoned my phone call that was coming to you. I double checked our phone records and cross checked it with the airlines coming in, and they said that the service was perfect that day. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah. I was on the shitter. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, right.
I was scrolling on the shitter. Yeah.
I'm like, if I ever get questioned by like the CIA or if I'm ever captured by fucking
I got
terrorists
this.
and waterboard, I'd be like, dude, you ain't got shit on my
Yeah,
wife.
dude. And then your wife walks in, and you're like, oh, fuck, damn it. Oh, fuck. I'll tell you. Please. Anybody else? Whatever. No, dude, it's, but I think it's important to have like some type of dynamic that works for sure. But I don't know, for me as a dude, I think I think our biggest financial discrepancies is she's always like, whenever we're tight, she's always like, we need to spend less. I'm like, I need to make more. Like that's
Yeah.
I'm always like, okay, what can I do to make more? So cause I never want to I don't like to stop spending money. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
All right.
Well, that's like my
Let's
wife's
sac-
thing is like, you should always have 3 months of emergency money available. And I'm like, why?
yeah.
And so like that was my thing last year. I was like, I focused on making sure that I was putting money aside, and I started making sure that I was all, feeding all my investment accounts and doing all this stuff. And I'm like, all right, great, I did that. Now I want to go spend money. So I, bought a barn at the end of the year or whatever, a garage. And but it's like she's like, what are you gonna do? You're gonna work the rest of your life away? I was like, well, if I have to.
That's
I was
I
like,
hate to say
but,
it.
like,
Our society is going towards that way.
I mean, but here's the thing. I mean, I could make sacrifices. Like, I don't have to leave my fucking kid $200,000 to $300,000 when I die. Like, they can.
I actually
figure
think
it
it's
out.
better not to.
Yeah, let them figure it out. Like, I don't have, and it's great for people that have generational wealth and you're fucking multimillionaire, of course. Like, you want to set your kids up for, success or
And
failure.
I probably would just donate it.
Shaq.
Like, I definitely wouldn't make it as easy as, like, they do, but that's okay. And then, as far as what I'm going to do, I mean, if it gets to the point where like I can't work or I don't enjoy that, then downsize. Like, I don't need this fucking big ass fucking house. I can go live in a fucking 2-bedroom log cabin in the fucking woods and be fine.
Yeah.
Like, so you just make sacrifices that comes. And if I'm 80 years old and doing that, hey, fucking more power to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've lived in some shitty ass apartments, bro, that were like, and I was fine, dude. I was happy as shit, whatever, cool. I had food in the fridge, and one time we didn't have enough money for furniture. I was going through a real tough time. I had no money for furniture. I'd moved to this new place. I had a roommate. And so we had lawn chairs, like camping chairs. And we didn't give a shit, dude. We sat down. We had like 3 DVDs. We'd watch one of the 3 DVDs. We couldn't afford cable, and that's what we did.
Well, there's all kinds of ways to make money, dude. One of the things, and it's funny because now that we'll have this big ass barn, we'll probably get into it again. But there is 2 summers in a row we did it. Actually, it started with like one night. It was like in a snowy fucking night, and like we were dropping my daughter off or doing something, and we like somebody put like a brand new 4 brand new chairs outside. I was like, oh, let's grab those. We'll fucking sell those on Facebook.
Yeah.
And then my wife's like, I was like, my dad used to garbage pick all the fucking time.
Yeah.
Like we used to pick up like steel bed frames because that would be, then we'd weld and build like shit in the shop for him. Like you find all
just
kinds
scrap
of
it.
random
You could-
shit.
you can make money scrapping.
So like we started doing it, and like luckily there's some pretty nice neighborhoods around here too. And like there was I mean, we garbage picked for a summer. We'd go out every like Monday or Wednesday and Thursday night, just drive around in the truck. First, it was cool. We were all just talking, just hanging out for a couple hours while we drive around all these fucking neighborhoods and shit like that. So it was good, like quality time. But like that summer, the first summer we did it, we made about $17,000 over the summer. Wow, dude, it was crazy. We were making on an average night, we would bring in enough stuff to sell for $200 or $300 a night. And it was crazy the stuff what people would throw out, like especially like in Fox Meadows. Shout out to Fox Meadows. These motherfuckers would throw out like patio sets that were maybe a year old. So it'd be like a 60-inch glass table with like 6 brand new chairs. I'd turn around and put that on
$100
Facebook,
right there.
dude. $400.
I bet.
Facebook Marketplace the next day. Because this was also during COVID when we did this the first time. So like there was nothing for sale in the stores or anything. So people were fucking trying to buy used shit. And I was like, we were fucking making killing. There was one night somebody threw out 2. One was brand new, still in the fucking wrapper. The other one would look like it'd been open but never used. Recliners. I put them up, 2 of them, $400 each. Somebody came and picked them up the next actually it was within an hour. Someone's like, I'll be there to pick them up tonight. And I was like, we made $800 off 2 fucking chairs that we just found in the fucking trash. So like when people were like, what would you do if like times got hard? I was like, dude, people throw shit out all the time. What are you talking about? Like it'd be easy to fucking make that money. Like, cause I would just do that 6 days a week if I had to for the time being. And then in the meantime, like during the day I could build something or fucking whatever the case. But yeah, that was fun. Actually, that's how we bought our bedroom set when we bought our last bedroom set. It was like pay cash with it from the shit that we made garbage picking or whatever. And we're like, fuck yeah, dude, $4,000 with a bedroom set from fucking trash picking.
I thought about doing that for like scrap, like doing scrap metal, because like a lot of times people, they want to get rid of a washing machine and whatever, refrigerator, whatever, and you literally load those up. I have a lift gate on my truck, so I could just back up in there, lower the lift gate, roll it on there, put a little dolly, roll it on there, lift it up, put it in there, pile 4 or 5 washing machines, go take it up to the scrapyard, make $450, $500, whatever.
Yeah, it's funny because when we were driving around, like you would see the scrappers that were driving around with like an 18-foot trailer, just picking up anything that had to do with scrap.
Yeah, any metal. Yeah.
And, we just laughed because I was like, man, tell you what a great business would be if I had a boy, like a 14-year-old, 15-year-old boy. I was like, I'd start, like, people throw out fucking grills, like left and right.
Yeah,
and I mean, these are grills that are $500-$600 grills at Lowe's. They get tired of cleaning them after a year or two and they throw them out. And I'm like, man, fucking, you give that kid some fucking, like a kid puts about an hour and a half of labor into cleaning that thing. Yeah. And you got a $150-$200 grill that you're throwing right back out there for sale.
Somebody buy it.
Yeah. And I was like, man, you could literally just have a whole fucking business of restoring grills. And when I sold my grill, that's exactly what the guy did. He's like, yeah, we restore these fucking things. And then you just resell them for twice as much. I'm like, makes sense. Like, it's always a market, always a way to make money if you're willing to hustle a little bit and put some fucking work into it.
That's the thing is you have to be like reasonably intelligent, right? Like you can't be a total dumbass, otherwise you'll never make money. But but you have to have like some sort of skill or brains, and then you just got to work. You just got to make it happen. You can't be sleeping in at noon, and you never make money that way. So you get up early, you take care of the business every day, and you'll find something to do that is lucrative. That's all.
Well, I mean, you just think about it too, like just stuff that I don't want to do around the house on a daily basis that I would fucking gladly pay for. Like somebody could start a cleaning company. I mean, that's $200 a week usually at somebody's house that you eventually develop a relationship with and you become their cleaner. Or I hate painting my fucking house. Like I've done it, but it fucking sucks painting walls. Like if somebody would have come and said they would do it. And here's the thing, like if you ask a painting company to do it, like to paint this basement, they might charge you fucking $3,000. But if you're hard up for fucking money, I'd be like, hey, I'll paint your fucking basement for a fucking $1,000 and it'll look fucking just as good as those fucking other teams. It might take me an extra day, but like there's ways to like get around the, you know what I mean, to make that money in whatever you're doing.
Well, my wife's stepdad, not the one that we were talking about earlier, that's what happened with him. He started like painting stuff on the side, and he ended up getting in with these like apartments downtown Cleveland, and he would just come in and they would just hire him just to paint or whatever. And he ended up creating his own painting company. Now he makes pretty good money, So he just, dude, he comes and paints our house all the time because he does it. And he's so fast. If I were to paint my living room, it would take me like 3 days. You know what I mean? He'll have it done in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And he's got the right tools. He does it all the time. He's very good
he doesn't
at
have
it.
to like tape everything up.
Yeah,
it takes me fucking a whole day to paint, dude, or tape. I mean,
yeah. Just to do the tape and the edge work, it'd take me forever. He's got that done by hand. He's precise enough, whatever. And he'll have my living room done. And if I were to hire him to do my living room, it'd probably take him 2 hours, and then you go to the next job,
Yeah.
So it's like, you start to learn a skill like that, and then you can figure, okay, how can I do this? You get better at it, you get the right tools, whatever, and there's money to be made. The trades are a great way to make money. If you're really hard up, you just learn a skilled trade, and Man, there's so many people that would pay for that.
Dude, plumber. Fucking nobody's plumbers anymore. Like I hear that all the time.
Well, I heard
like,
that plumbers are the next millionaires because
I believe that.
because it's like the heating vac companies, the plumbing, the electrical companies. Those are all businesses, companies or businesses that people don't want to do anymore.
Yeah.
People don't want to go on people don't want to plumb their own toilets. They rather pay someone.
Well, and dads aren't teaching their kids
Yeah.
how to do those skills anymore. You know.
Yeah, we just talked about that last week. I don't know if you saw the podcast. We had this guy Hans on, and Hans, like, this guy's just guy who knows how to do everything. And his dad was like a fucking German engineer that came over here and like just learned how to do all kinds of random shit. From like his dad built like gliders, like gliders that you actually sit in and fucking. And then he got into the racing side of things and building exhaust and doing all this stuff. But it's like, he's just a guy that knows how to do everything. Like now, like he has like this huge barn where like guys go over there, like he helps them build tables, or he'll help them fucking do something on their truck, or put a lift kit on, or do all just random shit. And I was like, he reminds me a lot of my dad. Like that generation just knew how to do random shit.
Yeah.
Because they had to do there was nothing else to do. There was no TVs, there was no cell phones.
Yeah,
like you
yeah.
grew up in the 70s and 80s as a teenager, dude. Like you had to fucking find your fun, and it usually required you doing it on your building something.
Yeah, I remember like even working on our own cars as a kid. Like my one buddy had a 1984 Toyota Corolla, and it needed a power brake booster. I didn't know what the fuck that was. But we had a Haynes manual. We went up to AutoZone, got the part. We were reading the instruction. Oh man, it was so funny. He's like taking it apart, whatever, and he's taking the pedal off because you have to take it. You have to separate it from the firewall, or whatever, the pedal. And we were laughing. It's cold as shit. Like whatever. Working in this garage with torpedo heater, and I'm working on the other side. I looked down. I said, his name's Stacy. I said, Stacy, you did a great job taking that pedal off, but you're supposed to take off the brake. That's the clutch. And he's like, oh, shit. Took the whole wrong pedal off. Yeah. Like, fuck, dude. Yeah. So we were 16. That's how you learn. Whatever.
Yeah, dude.
And even now with my kids, like, this is kind of cool. We did. I always, whenever I have to do something around the house, I'm no handyman, but like we troubleshoot it. Okay, cool. So we had a sink that was stopped working, only the hot water, or whatever. So I told my daughter, I said, go check the other sink, see if it works, and it did. So I said, okay, no, this is this sink. Okay, what's going on with the sink? And found it was just a valve thing, whatever. But it did it again, and she goes, I already checked the other sink. It's definitely the sink. I said, cool. So they start to learn some of that stuff. They'll pick it up. You know?
For sure. Yeah, it's kind of fun too, and that's part of teaching them. And like you said, I'm not a handyman either, but they also have tools that we didn't have.
YouTube,
like,
bro.
Dude, you can learn how to do
Oh, my God.
everything.
You can do
I
anything.
learned, everything I fucking learned. on
Elon Musk said you can learn everything from YouTube.
Yeah.
He literally said that.
You can. I mean, really. I had to fix my hot water tank a couple months back, and I don't know how to do that. And YouTube,
dude. Yeah. It's fucking nuts. That's like all these lights that are in the ceiling are they're on like a series, and they used to be connected to a dimmer switch. So I didn't know that. So I put in all these Govee lights, and when I put in on the last Govee light, like it fucking shut them all off. I was like, what the fuck? And it was because one of the light, like whatever the Govee light makes a difference versus the regular lights, maybe because they weren't dimmable, but they're dimmable when you adjust them on the app. I don't know. But anyway, it shut them all off. So I was like, fuck, what do I do? And this thing, the switch over here where the dimmer was, has like 6 fucking wires in it. And I'm like, first of all, I definitely blew a breaker, which then spoiled half the meat in my freezer down here because I didn't realize it for 2 days. But then finally I was like, all right, I got to get down here and I got to fix it, dude. I got YouTube. It's fucking pitch dark down here. I got YouTube fucking playing. Got my fucking headlight flashlight on, and I'm like fucking doing it. And fucking put it together. I was like, boom, worked. I was like, fuck yeah, dude. You feel so accomplished.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, I learned to do that. I have to pay an electrician. Fuck yeah.
That's like one of the best things, like when you can fix something without actually without having to pay somebody. Like,
yes.
I feel that's like a man gratification.
Yes.
That's such a great thing. Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
because then I go spend more money on something else.
Yeah. I was gonna have to pay an electrician $500 to come out here and do this. Now I don't do that.
Yeah, exactly. And then the other side of that is like when you know somebody that does that kind of work, and you can be like, hey, dude, can you hook me up and like do this on the side? And they're like, yeah, they're not doing it for their company, they're doing it for themselves.
Yeah.
And so all of a sudden it costs you $200 instead of $500, and they would normally only get paid $80 to do the job for a company. Now they're making double that, and that's how they start their own businesses hopefully in the future. You know?
Yeah, there's certain stuff that I won't do. Like one of the things, I want to get a gas line ran. I'm gonna have one of my buddies come out.
Yeah,
that knows
I'm
how
not
to do
doing that.
I don't want to fuck with the gas line.
Yeah.
I think that's important too. Like you
your
should know your
limits.
limits. Yeah,
Yeah.
because maybe I don't do that. You know, yeah, for sure. So anything gas related, I don't mess with. I'm actually horrible with anything that requires any type of finesse. Like if you ask me to drywall or anything like that, forget it. I'll be horrible at it.
Yeah,
Patch a wall.
anything. I'm the same way. Like when I did our vinyl floors in our bedroom, and like my wife
bad
to
at
this
that, too.
my wife to this day like makes sure she points out like the two corners where like there's like a little gap. And I'm like, at that point it was like fucking 3 a.m. Like I just wanted to fucking finish. And honestly, I didn't think you would notice.
Yeah,
Put a piece of furniture over it. Or
yeah, that's what rugs are for.
Rug it.
But now I know for the next job, like how to do it better. But it's like, that was the first time I ever did vinyl flooring. Like I'm surprised it turned out as well as it is. And here we are. It's like 6 years later or whatever, and it's still intact.
Yeah.
I'm like, fucking win. You know?
Yeah, hey, it worked out good. That's the thing. Is if you kind of learn along the way, and you're going to make mistakes, and honestly, sometimes the mistakes will teach you more than anything. You know?
Yeah, they'll teach you patience, because there's nothing worse when you're like halfway done with something and you got to go back and redo like a fucking hour and a half worth of work, because that's like when I need a break. Need to get out of here and walk away. I'll come back and finish this later, because I'm about pissed now because I fucking made one simple mistake that caused me an extra 2 hours of work.
Here's a pro tip though: is when it's an easy fix, don't ever tell your wife it was an easy fix. You know? You go down there, oh, something's wrong with the outlet. Okay, hold on, the breaker's blown. You're like, all right, I'll be up in like 15 minutes. Sit down there, whatever. Drink a beer, whatever you gotta do. Rustle some shit around. You know? Oh, I fixed it. You know, it's good.
Looked a little harder than I thought it was going to be, but I watched about 20 minutes of YouTube videos and figured it out.
Yeah, sit down there and scroll on your phone for an hour. You know
I'm not going to name names, but I know a friend that literally goes around, messes with his house. So when like something like he unscrews a light bulb or fucking turns off a breaker sometimes.
Yeah, turn the water off to the toilet. The toilet's not working. All right, hold on, I got it.
He does that when his wife starts to become bitchy. He says, he's like, when my wife starts to become bitchy, I start going around the house messing shit up. So she has to come to me because she doesn't know how to do half this fucking shit.
I like that.
I'm like, get the fuck
smart.
out of here. Do you
That's
really?
really
He's
smart.
like, yes, I do. He's like, you ever tell her? I'm going to fucking cut your nuts off. I'm like, fuck.
Oh, that's hilarious.
We had the basement flood one time, and it was like, I was like an ankle worth of water. Fuck. What I did, I accidentally unplugged the sump pump, or sump pump, and I didn't plug it back in, and then it flooded. So my fault. And I'm going over there, I'm Googling how to fix this, what it could be, and I'm looking at the circuit breaker, thinking like, what's going on? And the first thing it says is, don't walk in the water. And I'm standing in it. We could have electrocuted. Well, at least there's no electricity in this thing. So I just turned it on, and it sucked all the water out. My wife was freaking out. The basement's flooded, whatever. Yeah, I worked really hard to fix that thing. It was literally just plug the sump pump and let it suck all the water back out. Then I had to like put fans up and dry the basement.
Yeah, that's the fucking worst part. It's like my sump pump, because well water here, and it's like fucking really hard water.
Yeah.
So like my first sump pump, and it's funny, this one's been fine for years. But it was like 2 years after I moved into the house, and like I come downstairs and like like water in the fucking carpet. I'm like, oh fuck, no idea what to do, and I'm like, finally, like,
That's a horrible feeling too.
It's because you're like, fuck, my basement's getting ruined, my house is getting ruined, like what the fuck? And turns out my fucking sump pump just took a fucking shit. I felt like a man though, because I went to the fucking Home Depot, picked up another one for like $120 or whatever, came in here, plugged that bitch in. I was like, water be gone.
Yeah, it's gone like that. You're a magician. Yeah. The good part of mine too is that it's not finished, so we have an unfinished basement. So it's like it didn't really mess anything up. A couple boxes or whatever.
Yeah, fortunately, it was just carpet, and like the one drywall or the edging was a little fucked up. In fact, I have the new edging that's been sitting down here for like 8 fucking years. It's that long fucking 20-foot piece that I fucking haven't cut down and finished. But at least I have it, so it's stage 1 complete.
New Year's resolution, maybe?
No, definitely not.
Oh, yeah. The other thing that you should do too when you're married is make sure when you clean the drain out, it has all the hair in it. Make sure you point out the fact that is not your hair. Yeah,
Dude, so funny, bro.
this is the reason why.
Do either of your wives take their hair and like stick it on the shower wall?
No,
Definitely not.
no. I had a girlfriend that used to do that though. It annoyed the piss out of me. Dude.
What?
That's gross.
You've never seen that?
what?
Like,
Yeah, dude.
I've never
They just
heard
put
of
it on,
that.
like and you go in the shower and it looks like your shower is hairy.
Oh, I'd freak out.
Oh my God. No. I have a friend
I
that
freak out when you pull it out of the drain.
No,
Like when it's like,
Yeah.
Oh, no, I see a friend that literally he's going to Home Depot. He's like, come here. He's like, the girl comes there and he grabs a piece of her hair, fucking starts pulling up the tile because he's like,
Oh, see if it matches.
I'm like, why would you do that? He's like, so I can get one that matches her hair, so I don't want to fucking see it every time I go in the fucking shower.
Oh my god, that's
I'm
so funny.
I'm like, you guys.
Women can't do anything wrong though. There ain't.
No, don't say anything.
According to Google, they do that so it doesn't end up clogging the drain. It's weird, but like,
Interesting.
yeah, I dated somebody, and anytime she would shower at my house, I'd walk in and I'd forget about it, you know, and like then I'd walk in like, you know, a couple weeks later, I just wouldn't look at that part of the shower, but and I would just notice like, well, are we collecting for a wig here? Or?
Just for the
Kids for cancer.
Yeah, kids for cancer. I think my favorite is
At
when
what
they.
point do they clean that up? Then is there like a checklist?
Well, in this part, well,
like, do they have like a checklist when they get out of the shower? Make sure you get your hair at your
in this
boyfriend's house.
particular case, this particular person, nameless, you know, obviously didn't. You know, she was
Yeah.
leaving it there so that then when the redhead came over, she would find it or something. I don't know.
But if you leave any beard trimmings on the sink, oh my
boy.
god, it's like the
it's hell.
fucking, it's like the like World War III, you know.
Dude,
And-
it's like, have you ever seen those videos where like the guy, like she's like, this place is a pigsty because he's got like his gym bag laying on the floor or something.
makeup's everywhere.
And then like he's in the bathroom when she tells him, and he looks at her sink, and there's like shit fucking falling off the sink,
fucking
underwear on
blow
the
dryer,
ground.
yeah.
Like my wife's one belt has been on the floor for fucking, I don't know, 6 months upstairs, and it's like literally 6 inches away from the scale that I step on twice a day, and like I always see that pointy thing sticking up, and I'm just like, should I move the belt? Fuck no, I'm not moving the belt. She needs to move her own belt.
principle.
I'm just gonna be very, very careful that I don't accidentally
Step
step
on
on
it.
that half asleep in the morning.
So I should go upstairs and tell her to move that belt for you.
No, just don't do that. When she hears, if she ever makes it this far through the podcast,
Podcast.
and she
Oh,
hears that, she's gonna be like, "Why the fuck are you telling people that my bathroom's a fucking mess?" Like,
One belt.
One fucking belt.
if only it was one belt.
Oh man, dude, that's how our shit is too. It's like, but it's always my stuff that's the problem. But her stuff is fine. You know
It's
what I
like
mean?
a white. It's, you know what? So it's funny when you go through counseling and stuff. They're like some people have a more accepting, and I was like, that's men in general.
Men,
like we're
yeah.
just more accepting. Like
We're like the house is messy. Oh well. You
yeah,
know?
exactly.
So what?
Like
What's
there's
going
like
on?
other things more important. Like I
Is
can't
the
pay the
mortgage paid?
mortgage.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so funny, right?
That's
That's the first thing I think of. Like, is the mortgage going to be paid this month? Yes. Awesome. Life is good. Okay. Like. I'm not like, it's like the smallest thing could set my wife off, and I'm just like, I don't understand why that bothers you so much. Like we just argued about something that was so just
Trivial.
beyond trivial. Like it has no effect on anything in life at
Yeah.
all.
If that
except
belt
the
never
fact-
moves for the next 20 years, it's not going to hurt anybody. You
Yeah,
know
I
what
won't
mean?
even say
Besides
anything.
his foot. Besides his foot.
Unless I step on it, I won't say it. And then I'll step on it and be like, fuck, your belt's on the floor. It's been there for 20 years. Yeah. And I didn't say anything. That's how loving of a husband I am, just to let you know.
That's tolerance. Right
Meanwhile,
there.
you have never tripped over my gym bag, yet you make sure you always point out when it's not fucking put away.
Too
It's not
much
the-
gym bag.
Yeah, it's funny. It's funny how that works. The difference between men and women, and like what we will be upset about versus what they will be upset
Yeah.
about. And it's just, I don't know, man. I think they watch too much reality television. I think that's what it boils down
100%.
to.
Well, the other thing is too, and I have to be careful, but like a lot of like the worst case scenario thinking is what I feel like my wife specifically, like she can be literally like,
That's what women
she
are
like,
known
you
for.
didn't answer your phone for 10 minutes. You must have had an affair with somebody across the country. Like that's like her first thought process, like would be like that versus like, I was taking a shit. I really didn't feel like answering the phone because you called me on FaceTime instead of regular. So I wasn't going to sit there staring at you while I took a shit.
Fight back.
He should have been like,
But like, it's always the worst case scenario. And then, like she'll be like the worst things that she could think of, which are the furthest from the truth. Like 4 of her closest friends will be doing it at the exact same time. And I'm like, yeah, because your friends are shitheads doesn't mean that I'm a shithead.
Yeah.
Like you're just making the worst assumption because this person or this person is doing this. And like, you're just assuming I'm like that. No, I'm not that person. Like, stop hanging out with that fucking person if you don't like the fucking, you know.
For sure.
But it's funny because
You see that happen a lot though. Like one girl will be single and get a divorce, and the next, oh, I need to be single now too. You know, oh yeah, these problems are my problems too now. You know,
yeah, just saw that happen at the gym I was at actually. Like one lady got a fucking divorce, and then that's all they were all talking about. Like 6 middle-aged women. I'm like, you guys are not finding anybody to fucking replace what you have now.
no.
You should probably rethink this. I'm not gonna get in the middle of it, but I'm thinking if I was the most single person on earth, like you guys wouldn't be on my radar. So, and I'm not the best looking guy, so like
Have
you
they
should.
met
So
Evan?
you guys should
Okay,
definitely
okay.
consider staying with the person you're with now.
Not to be mean or sexist or anything like that, but if a girl is older than me or my age with a kid, does not have financial stability, I am not going. You're not even in my class. I'm sorry. Like no kid, you can't have a kid.
Wait a minute.
What if she's got?
Wait,
what if she's
hold on.
got?
How old are you?
35.
How many women over 35
I love this
have
game.
children?
Oh, I'm
And
like
are
that's like
single.
90%. That's like 90%.
Here's the thing: is like I think most men, at least successful, the men that women want essentially, don't really care too much about the financial stability thing. Like if I was
No,
single,
no, no. Yes, of course.
if I was single, I wouldn't really date somebody if they were financially stable or not. I could care less about that because I'll bring that to the table. But you have to be able to bring something to the table for me. Too. You know
Exactly.
what I mean? Like,
That's
okay,
right.
what do you bring? Oh, you're a nurturing person. You're going to make my life easier. You're going to meal prep for me. Whatever that might be. However that looks like in the dynamic.
Yeah,
like,
we're
how are
gonna
you
have
make
fun.
money?
You're like cool. You're like
Yeah,
whatever.
You don't make my. The thing I've always said is don't make my life harder. Like that's the minimum requirement.
Make it easier.
Yeah, do something that makes it easier for me.
And that's how I see it. Like, but I'm saying, but I'm not trying to like what you were saying. Like when a woman has a kid, that's more of a pain for me. Why would I want that in a relationship? I'm sorry.
Well, I mean,
okay.
it depends.
And I know
but-
Nick's different because it's different scenario, but I've dated girls with kids, and if I can't, like, if I start get serious with the woman and she won't let me punish the kid,
that's
that's a dynamic
You
that
have
I don't
to,
want.
if you do date someone's kids, you have to be on the same
Yeah.
page, like parentally. Like, okay, these are my parental beliefs. These are your parental beliefs.
Yeah.
It has to work. And
Why-
even if you don't have kids, you're gonna have kids. And
Why do you want to punish kids, Evan? Let's
Dude,
talk about that.
let's just say,
their
okay,
ass.
I was raised with like a hard hand. Like I was raised like my parents.
So
beat
you just
me.
want to find a woman who's got fucking kids and then beat them?
No, I'm just saying. No, I'm just saying. No. Oh my.
And if you can't beat them, then you don't want anything to do
No,
with
I just
her or her kids.
I just want to be able like to like punish the kids if they're being bad. Because I dated a girl that would not let me if if the kid talked back to me, I would have to tell the parent. I couldn't say anything back because she got mad at me when I told her kid, quiet. You're not allowed to say those words. Those.
This podcast is taking a fucking turn.
I
know, dude.
I love
this is good. This is a good.
But I was like,
controversial topic.
literally,
Yeah.
like the woman would not let me punish her kid. I would have to tell her what the kid did, and then she will punish the kid. I'm
Well,
like,
at least she took care of it.
yeah, but she never
did
did
she?
really. She really didn't do punish the kid. She just told the kid, "You can't say those words." I'm like, woman, if I,
What we're gonna do?
I
What are you gonna do? You gonna beat that kid's ass? I'm gonna take you down.
No,
son.
I was
Gonna kick you out to the woodshed, son.
No, my friend's punishment
Single
for
women
his
listening
kids.
to the show.
He would literally tell. He
the
would.
opinions of Evan are not of everybody at
No,
this
no,
show.
Also, Evan, I know where a belt is located
Oh
if you
my
need one.
God. At all times. No, not hitting the kid. My friend, he found the best way to punish his kids if they were doing something bad. He would say, stand in that corner with your hands above your head and hold them there until I say go, until I say you can put them down. And raising your hands up in the air for more than 10
Waving
minutes.
like you just don't care.
Yeah, like that. He's like that will, and literally, because if you tell a kid stand in a corner, look at the freaking wall, the kid's gonna look at the wall, then talk back to you next time. But you're putting your hands in the air. That's kind of putting stress on the
That's
arms.
some Hitler shit
Well,
right there.
I'll tell you what, different kids you have to punish different ways.
Exactly.
Because so I have a kid that you could beat his ass and he'd take the whooping all day.
Yeah.
Now I have another one that if you put him in the corner, he'll sit there in the corner all day. You know what I mean? My one son, we told him we couldn't get up from the dinner table to ate his peas. He hates peas. And so he was like 6, 7 years old. This kid sat there from 6 o'clock till like 9 o'clock at night. This dude's ready for some ISIS interrogation shit. You know what I mean? Like, over fucking peas, dude. There's no way. You know. But if I would have whooped him, it'd have been different. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's just you have to know
What the degree.
What is gonna hurt the kids? Not hurt the kid, but what is gonna make the kid respond? You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
well, how are you going to get corrective action?
Exactly,
My
yeah.
dad was the best at creative punishment. Like,
I love that stuff.
like I remember, I remember my first boom box. Like I was probably like 9, 10 years old, and it had the plug where it was removable from the back. So like one day I came home and I went to hit play and it wouldn't play. I'm like, what the fuck? And I pick it up to look. I'm like, where the fuck's the cord? And I was like, fuck. Like, what are you going to do? Like, I got to go ask my parents where the cord is because they're the only people, like, I'm 10. I was like, hey, guys, the cord's missing to my boombox. And my dad's like, yeah, when you learn to do whatever it was, I don't remember the exact story or reason.
the trash out.
But when you do that, then you can earn your cord back. I remember like sitting there staring at that fucking thing every fucking night for probably 2 weeks. Like, fuck, dude, I just want to listen to music. Like, can't do that. And it's just one of those punishments that I remember my dad doing. That I was like, and then that was his thing. Like, it became a thing. Like when video games came out, PlayStation or whatever.
Yep, that's
take the fucking cord, and I just sit there, and then like then I get creative. Like he'd be at work all day during the summer, and I'd fucking scour the entire house, if I could find that cord, I would fucking make sure I placed it exactly back the same way after I was done playing video games for the afternoon or whatever. But it was like at the same point in time, like. It always made me think, like, God, dude, it's so easy to just get something taken away from you.
Dude, ask Nina about her friend that I dated in high school or whatever. Her dad did the same thing, except for he cut the cord, dude.
Oh,
cut the motherfucker, dude. He would go in, he'd take the doors off the walls, he'd cut the cords.
I think she did tell me about the doors off the walls.
It was crazy, bro. I'm like, oh, dude, this is, I never wanted to get in trouble at her house. But you need to get your door back so I can sneak over.
Dude, that's so funny. To this day, the best, I tell a story all the time of my dad, because I was like, you really want to get a good example of who my dad was. I was like, I had a truck. And tail light went out, and we were supposed to go to this big party. And I was like, fuck, I don't want to go to this party and get pulled over or something because I got a tail light out, right, if I have a drink or two there. And so I stole his truck. I literally drove home. I drove home. It was like 11 o'clock at night. My dad was already asleep, and I grabbed his truck, and I went to this party. I took my sister with me, too. And like we pulled back in the house, and the funny thing is I didn't even feel like that good that night. So like I didn't drink. I actually left the party early. It was probably like 12:30, maybe an hour and a half.
It, yeah.
Nothing worth it at all. Pulled the car. Of course, you like turn off the key and everything, like you coast into the driveway. And we had a screened-in patio, and all I could see was the cherry on my dad's cigarette.
Oh,
and I was like,
shit.
fuck, he's awake. I was like, don't worry, sis. I'll take the fucking blame for this. We walk in the house. He's like, you guys are both fucking grounded for the rest of your life. I don't give a fuck what your story is. And I was like, oh, all right. That was it. I can handle that. So this was a Saturday night, and Sunday morning we woke up and he was already gone. And I was like, they let me sleep in. Like usually if my dad grounded me on the weekend, like
you're getting up early.
it was like
yard work.
Yeah, it was like fucking 6 a.m. No sleeping in. So it's like 10:30 when I wake up, and I'm like, this is fucking weird. I was like, walk upstairs, I'm like, Ma, where's dad at? She's like, he went back to the farm. He said he would talk to you when you got home. I'm like, all right. So my dad pulls in, and he had this Isuzu flatbed truck. It was like a 20-foot flatbed. He pulls in probably like 7 o'clock at night, and all I could see was like the whole bed was filled with like trees, like where he had taken the fucking. They were just the logs, right? Yeah. These are 20-foot fucking logs. And he comes in the house. He goes, "Oh, I'm glad you're here. I wanted to share something with you." So when those are all cut down to 18-inch lengths and split and stacked, that's when you're ungrounded.
I like it, Dad.
This is like the first week of school, right? This is literally the first week of school.
So you got ungrounded what, Christmas?
Dude, so it's funny because I mean every day, like my sister would stack and fucking I would chop fucking wood from the time I got home from football practice until it was dark out. And like eventually, like my friends were like, "Dude, you've been grounded forever." So like they'd start coming over to help out.
Yeah.
And like the last party of the year, it was the last football game of the year and shit. And I almost had like 8 football players over there on a Thursday night. Like all of my buddies like helping me fucking chop this fucking wood. So and my dad comes out and he's like, "It's impressive. You got this many people to come out here and help you chop wood just so you can go to a football game party or a party after the football game tomorrow night, huh?" He goes, "All right. I think you've learned your lesson." And it was like,
and he had firewood for 6 years.
Oh my God, dude. So this was my sophomore year when I left for basic and AIT after I graduated high school. And I remember coming back on leave and there was still wood. That wood literally lasted in fucking 3 years.
Yeah,
dude.
I love that.
And
he's selling it out front. Whatever. My son's hard work right there.
But
speaking of ways to make extra money,
it's so funny. But like, I was like, that was the worst grounding ever. But there was an end, and I could get to it as fast as I wanted to. And I know there was weeks where I worked harder, and then there was other weeks where I was like, fuck it, I'm going to bed. But it taught me so much. And then what was I gonna say? After like it was all said and done, like I tell that story to everybody. I'm like, it was just one of those things where it's like,
and you'll never forget that either.
Never gonna forget that. And I never took my dad's truck ever again.
No, you learned to watch that. I told you guys a story on the one podcast about how I took my kids' clothes away, didn't I?
No.
Oh, bro. Okay, this is good. So my kid, long story short, this is a really long-winded story, but I'll make it as short as I can. He had a phone, and he was doing some shit on his phone he shouldn't have been doing, like in the 7th grade. He had a girlfriend, and he was texting his girlfriend, he's texting the girl, he's sneaking a chick in the house, he's got nudes coming from other girls or whatever. He's
7th grade.
7th grade. Dude, kid's like a little player with his phone. We didn't even know he had the phone. His grandparents bought it for him, didn't tell us. Another problem. Anyways, so we find out about it. The neighbor calls me, and he says, hey, I need to talk to you. And he knew about his daughter sneaking over and vice versa. And I said, what's up? He's like, I'd rather talk to you in person. I said, okay. I said, it's about Josh and Kennedy. I said, okay. And they're like good friends. All right, let me, I called Josh and I said, hey, what am I walking into here, dude? Just be honest with me. I'll go as easy on you as I can. You're not going to not get in trouble, but I'll be cool, you know? I don't know what it is. I have no idea. You know, I'm like, dude, for real, man, just tell me. He's like, I'd like to know too. I'm like, okay.
Way to play it.
Yeah, dude, he fucking Academy Awards.
7th grade.
7th grade. So we go there, and she's like, Josh has a phone, whatever, blah, blah. And they've been sneaking in and out of the house. Well, yeah, maybe they were just watching movies or something. I was stupid. I'm like, yeah, whatever. No, they were fucking around, whatever. And so, so we find this phone. He deleted all the apps or whatever. So, of course, my wife, the spy, re-downloads the apps, resets the passwords, and now we're in. You know what I mean?
Oh, my God,
he fucking got them all. Yeah. So all these social, we don't let him have social media. He had all his social media, all the stuff we weren't supposed to have, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And so what I did, I made him call all the dads of all these girls and apologize on the phone with tell him what he did and what he had to do. Because one, I didn't want him to get any legal repercussion. Yeah, so I figured if I get in front of it and show that we don't allow this, this is not something we promote, whatever, we're going to make you right by it, then they won't, which they were all cool and everything. So, they were probably pretty pissed at their daughters too, whatever. So they, so he had to call all these dads and apologize. A couple of them didn't have dads, so it makes sense why they were doing what they're doing, but whatever. So, and then he had to apologize to the guy across the street who's our neighbor, good friend of ours. Face to face, he's crying, bro. He's like, oh, so he had to earn, he had to, hey man,
yeah, that's a fucking battle, right?
Yeah,
there.
Dude, yeah, you have to do that. And then I was like, dude, I need to punish this kid for lying to me. You know what I mean? For not telling me the truth off the rip. So I told him, I come home the one day. And I'm like, how do I get through this kid, dude? Like, he's the one you could whoop his ass. He doesn't care. You put him in the corner. He doesn't care. Like he cares about his image at school. So I was like, all right, Josh. I said, go upstairs. I said, I need you to get all your clothes and put them in this Rubbermaid container, right? Just put them all in here. He's like, well, what am I going to wear to school? And I'm like, I'm glad you asked. I stopped at Goodwill on the way home. I bought the ugliest shit I could find. I went to like 3 different Goodwills and bought the ugliest clothes I could. I'm talking like silk Guy Fieri shirt with like flames on it, dude. I got fucking corduroys with holes in them. Jesus. I fucking all this shit. I said, dude, I'm required to put clothes on your back, food on your plate, and a roof over your head. But they don't have to be Nike, Jordan, Abercrombie, whatever. So yeah, dude, fucking sneakers, shoes. He wore some Velcro, like K-Swiss. And some like white socks, tighty whitey underwear.
Dude, I know you went in there looking for the worst fucking shit.
Yeah, dude, breakaway pants, dude. Dude, he had everything cool in the 90s for sure. But he had overalls for the one. It was so funny.
I'd like to point out with the success with the women, the breakaway pants was a good call.
That was a good call. Yeah, maybe I didn't think that was dude, it was so. We're watching him walk out to the bus stop with this shit on, dude. It's so man. My wife's like, all that shit's gonna be popular now, and I'm like, well, whatever. If you do that, then that's impressive. Kids start wearing overalls to school.
Yeah.
Did you get some photos at least of this?
I think we did. I probably have some somewhere. I'll have to do it.
Dude, that is a great story.
That was
dude.
awesome.
Yeah,
That's
dude.
an ultimate dad punishment too.
Yeah, and I had to make it count. You know what I mean? You got to hit him where it hurts a little bit. You
Yeah,
know?
that definitely hurt.
Yeah, he didn't care. He wouldn't have cared about being grounded for weeks or whatever.
Yeah, he's a
yelling
ladies
at him.
man. Now he's fucking showing up in breakaway pants and fucking Velcro shoes.
Dude, it was so funny, dude. Yeah, he's like all his Jordans and stuff. I thought about it was around Christmas time too. I thought about like once he was off punishment, like just wrapping his own clothes up and give it to him back for Christmas. I almost did that. My wife's like, nah, we'll just give him Christmas.
Dude,
wanted to,
when
though.
he gets married, you have to fucking tell
Say
that
yeah.
story
100%, dude.
at the fucking wedding. You'd be like, hey, listen to his lovely wife.
Yeah.
When you really want to fuck with him,
Yeah.
fucking take all his fucking clothes and make him wear fucking Goodwill clothes to work for a month.
Whenever he starts acting up, I'm like, do I need to get the Goodwill clothes on or what? I still got him downstairs. Yeah. That's $30 I ever spent, dude. Yeah, because you got all those clothes for nothing.
Dude, that is so funny because that's the kind of story and he'll think about that.
Hell yeah, he'll remember
he'll
that.
probably still do dumb shit.
Yeah.
But he's definitely gonna hide it better.
We shaved his head. We shaved his head one time too. Yeah, because he cared about his hair or whatever, and he did something. I don't remember what he did. Mouth off to his mom or something like that. Whatever. And I was all right, cool. And actually, dude, this was crazy. We took him up to his best cuts. I'm not paying a fucking $50 for you to get your
Yeah.
head shaved. So we took him up to his best cuts. Dude, we get this tranny fucking barber or whatever, and Nina, it was great. Nina is a fucking G. She's like stoic as fuck. So we go in there and we're like, yeah, he's gonna get a buzz cut, and he's like in tears. And the trainee's like, is that what you would like?
Oh, God.
And Nina's like, we don't give a fuck what he would like. He would like a buzz cut. She's like, well, I want to make sure it's what he wants. I'm like, either cut his hair, or we'll find somebody else. But we don't give a shit what your opinion is. This is not his rights here. We're his parents. He's gonna get a buzz cut today.
Yeah.
So he did. He got a buzz cut, and he was pissed about that one too. But whatever.
Oh my god.
Grows back.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
fucking-
It's not permanent.
Character.
So-
Character. That's
Yeah,
all.
dude. Yeah.
Exactly.
I had it one time too where they were real little, and they I don't remember what they did, but they did something to an older dude or whatever. So I took him to the Walmart and I made him carry groceries out for old people.
That's a good one,
let's
too.
Load the car up, whatever.
See, this is things that dads need to learn is good ways to fucking build character and fucking because ultimately you're doing it because it's a punishment, but the reward for it is hey, you're doing something cool for somebody else.
and you're learning a lesson.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
look,
Don't be a fucktard.
Parents, beat your children.
Yeah, it's fine.
Talking to them does not work.
No.
It's proof. It's been proven. This whole experiment of the late '90s and into the 2000s of worrying about if your
What they
kid's going to
want.
be triggered and what they want. Now, fuck that. Beat your goddamn children.
And especially when they're little, dude. Because when my daughter would go put her finger in the outlet, I'd smack the shit out of her finger. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they don't know any better. So that's the only way for them to learn. Okay, Mia, don't put your finger in there. They don't know what the fuck you're saying, dude.
Right,
Dude.
dude.
So you have to. Yeah, the corporal punishment is especially effective when they're younger. And then I like to do more psychological warfare when they're
I like
That's how my dad was.
Because I mean, if you would have either had to get your ass beat or chop that wood, what would you pick?
Oh, definitely fucking chopping the wood, dude.
You would rather chop the wood?
Well, it depends. If the ass whooping was quick.
No, I would take the ass whooping all day, bro. I would
Dude,
say,
I
it
would
just
take the ass
depends.
whooping.
It depends. My dad was fucking creative with ass whoopings too. I'll never forget because my dad was a wood carpenter, so he'd always he made a fucking paddle, and I remember it fucking hung up on the fucking closet on the hinge of the closet door, and it literally said the fucking paddle on it. 'Cause my mom was in fucking owned a craft store, so she made it all fancy lettering on it. I'm like, wow, what a great fucking mom and dad fucking come together to build
I
this
did the terrible
awesome
here
ass
with the
whooping.
ass whooping stick. Yeah.
And I remember when I got suspended from school for my first fight in 4th grade, that was the first time the paddle got used on me. And this is my stepdad, so he didn't even come into my life until maybe 6 months before that. So it just goes to show father figure is important to
So
me.
Evan was your stepdad.
So I just remember we had a fucking once again the wood pile, the wood pile on their back patio, and I remember fucking putting my hands on. He's like, just whatever you do, don't fucking move your fucking hands to your ass. You're gonna take this, and of course, what's the first thing I fucking do? Move my hand to the ass right when I know he's about to fucking whack it. damn near broke all my fucking
Yeah, you'd rather
fingers,
take out the
dude.
ass, dude.
I remember my fucking hand was swollen. He's like, great. Now you're gonna have to explain to your teachers why you put your hand in front of the paddle. And I was like now I think about that and I'm like, God, before I would have had to explain to him that my dad didn't kick my ass, that I fell down the stairs. Otherwise the fucking cops would be at my house.
Yeah.
Like a different world, man.
I had my first real whooping was I knew it was coming because we were at school. We were screwing around with like one of the teachers' cars, and so I got sent home and blah 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 whatever. But I got home and my buddy was like, I was like, yeah, you don't understand my dad. Like, he's a sweetheart, but he's a scary man when he needs to be a scary man. He's a fucking Marine. He's a fucking MARSOC Marine. So it's like, not a guy. To this day, I won't fuck with that man. He's in his 80s. Like,
Right, yeah.
But yeah, my buddy was like, no. Here's what you do is you put your you had like your softback books. He's like, yeah, when I get a whooping, I just you just put that in your underwear back there, and and then that absorbs it. It'll be fine. Yeah. So later that night, not only did I still get swatted, I then got beaten with a fucking softback book because
Fuck is this?
and it's no longer soft when it's being used to whoop your ass.
Oh my gosh.
That's
so
great.
funny, dude.
That is really good.
Dude, well, I remember third grade. I went to Christian school, went like from kindergarten through third grade or kindergarten through second grade. I can't remember, but
The nuns get you?
No, we didn't have nuns. We didn't have nuns, but we had regular teachers. But they were allowed to whoop your ass.
Oh yeah.
And I remember I pushed a kid. I don't even remember. I just remember that the kid said I pushed him at the what's it called, the drinking fountain, and it was the end of the day. And I got fucking. I remember coming. I remember it was second grade, and I was crying because teachers just whooped my ass in the bathroom, and we're all in line to like leave for the day. And I'm like sitting there with my teary eyes, like just got my ass beat. Like all the girls are looking at you, like, why are you crying, bro? Like, because they pushed a kid, and they beat my ass. Like that fucking shit hurts. Like, goddamn. But it's like, could you imagine teachers whooping fucking kids' asses today? Oh my god,
They
dude.
should. I should.
agree.
I mean,
agree.
there's definitely a fucking. I mean, it probably didn't even hurt that fucking bad. I was in second
Well,
grade. Like
that's-
my ego was probably hurt more than
That's the
anything.
thing. Is it's not that people will tell you this too. The people that support the corporal punishment, and those, it's not necessarily you have to beat the living shit out of your kid.
No.
It's the fact that your teacher,
Embarrassing.
your dad hits you. So that it's emotionally gonna
Yeah.
hurt you. And you say, "Oh, I don't want to do that. I'm gonna get whooped again."
Yeah.
It's not necessarily. It has to be you don't have to beat him to the brink of death. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not like
a
you get the hit.
concentration camp.
It's just the idea, and it's funny because like you talk about like when I talked about getting suspended and coming home, like once again, like after I got home from school, my dad and I like went driving up through the mountains and like we were like doing like cool stuff after school. And then we come home or go down because I got spent. I went home in the middle of the day, so he's like, "Let's go up to the mountains. It'll be fun." I'm like, all right, weird. And then we come home and we eat dinner. And then he's like, "All right, come meet me outside." It's like, "Wait, what do you?" I thought we were okay. He's like, "No, you fucking got suspended from school. You're getting your ass. You're getting your fucking ass
No, it's
paddled."
not- yeah.
I was like, "Fuck." We just had a cool day together, Dad, and now
It's time.
Yeah, now I'm gonna get my ass whooped. Fuck you, And it's like.
With the same kid that with the clothes, Josh. That's the one you met too. The one
Yeah.
if you ever see him,
Yeah,
ask,
at the gym
ask,
the other day?
ask him about the Goodwill clothes. Yeah.
right, I will.
So he got in trouble. We just switched schools. He would go to Medina from Parma, and he was like hanging out with the wrong kids. He kept getting in trouble at school, and this is a perfect testament why you should beat your kid's ass. So so he kept getting in trouble with school, and he kept getting these notes home or whatever. And I was like, I'll take care of it. I'm the man. I'll take care of it. My wife's like, okay, you handle it. So I'm making him, I'm PTing him. I'm running him. I'm making him carry logs and doing this, whatever, push-ups, sit-ups, till he's dead. And he's still fucking up at school, whatever. So she says, I've had enough of this. I'll take care of it. She says, I want you to sit him down at the couch. And we play good cop, bad cop really well together. So she's like, sit him down at the couch and turn off the lights until I get home. And she wasn't home for like an hour or 2 hours. Easy. So I said, all right, Josh. I said, I just got off the phone with your mother. You need to sit on this couch till she gets home. And I turn all the lights off. And he's like, okay. He didn't know what was going on. This is like,
I mean, this is
like
fucking psychological warfare for sure.
And then she gets home. She says, nice to see you, Josh. She says, go time to take a shower. He says, you need to take a shower. I said, okay. She goes up, takes a shower. No. Don't put any clothes on afterwards. She says, come out here. She says, put your hand on the bed. She has this belt, whoops his ass, like probably 3 or 4 cracks. Like, and I'm down the hallway. I'm like, oh, and I'm like, oh. dude. Like, this is hurting me. Here it is.
Yeah, yeah.
And he's
That's
like
wet.
Yeah.
Oh.
This is some Puerto Rican shit, right? So, whatever. Whoops his ass like 3 times, whatever. He's like crying, whatever. Puts him back together. Goes to bed, whatever. We have a parent-teacher conference 2 weeks later. We go to this conference. The teacher says, I don't know what happened, but Josh has made a complete 180. He was a disruption in my class, and now he's helping the kids out. He's doing this, whatever. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, I'll tell you what happened. my wife
let him sit in the dark for 2 hours, told him to take a shower, then beat him with a fucking wet belt.
Yeah. Oh,
Fuck.
yeah.
That's hilarious.
He's a good kid. He really is a good kid, but he tries to skate on a couple things throughout.
Well, I mean, that's how
every
you know
kid.
he's smart.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's trying to like see what he could get away with and
Yeah.
learn, and fucking it is what it is. It's funny when I forget what it was. I heard my daughter like talking about me one time. She was like making like a little TikTok or whatever about my dad's so mean, da 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 da. And I was like, you think that's funny? I was like, what's funny is that I used to be a gangster rapper when I talk shit about my dad. I'd be wheeling that fucking firewood to the back, making up all kinds of badass rap songs about how badass I was and my dad sucked. Until the one day I came around the corner and he was like, oh, that's a fucking pretty cool song. Where'd you make that one up at? I was like, shit.
Now I got to do 7 more logs. Yeah, that's the best. Dude. I tell you what. But I tell you what, you remember that stuff. It builds character. And our kids will be better off for it. You know, I get compliments on my kids all the time. They're like, man, your children are very well behaved. It's like, yeah, because if they're not, we'll beat their ass. You know what I mean? There's no option to be not well behaved.
Maybe that's what we should try with Evan. Like, you would stop having eating fucking junk food if we beat your fucking ass
anytime I
every
see
day.
Taco Bell, I'm
Like, we just see fucking Evan with fast food, no matter who sees him. And this goes for any of you out there listening.
Yeah, if you see him with a burrito
Evan with
in
a
his hand.
burrito, Taco Bell, anything unhealthy,
Fucking
I want you to tackle him to
dropkick
the
him.
fucking ground and just fucking donkey punch his ass.
Eat healthy, motherfucker.
Maybe we do like on dodgeball. Remember we had himself connected up with the electric probes and everything. We just fucking tase him every time he looks at a donut.
I have an electric shock collar. We could do that.
Oh
Yeah.
my god, that'd be hilarious. I actually was gonna. It's funny. It reminded me of something else I was do. We are gonna do the smelling salts.
I used to have those when I was at the gym.
So
I got
this
you a
is
good one.
this.
Yeah.
So funny story. So like I watched them. It was like a Rogan podcast from
is
like
funny.
2-3 weeks ago, and I've seen him do it a couple of times where he's like, "Oh, we got these smelling salts. You gotta try them." And I was like, I googled which ones they were, and it was like world's strongest smelling salt, and like. It was like or whatever. It's
Yeah.
like I gotta get those, and I was like, I'll make the guys on the podcast.
I'll do it.
It'll be fucking funny. So I run into it was Wednesday actually. It was before we did the live show at the warehouse.
Yep.
And Nick's, I don't even know how it came up, but he's like, oh, I got these smelling salts. They're the fucking strongest ones in the world. I was like, those are the fucking ones from the Roadcast. Or from the Rogan podcast. He's like, yeah. So with that, I was like, I wanted to do these. I wanted to have everybody else do these. And he's like, and I was like, man, I could, like, he's like, they're already open.
Yeah.
So like the lid's on, but he's like this far away from you, Evan. And I could smell it.
Oh yeah, that's ammonia.
And so,
oh my
like, I'm like, I've always wanted to try this. So I unscrew it. I don't even hesitate. He didn't
Yeah.
even get a chance to say
I
something.
was like, don't
I
put him that
literally
close.
put
Yeah.
my fucking nose in the fucking thing like this. And I'm like, dude.
Yeah, it's like,
Oh, man. I wish I would have had it on camera, dude. It was the fucking worst,
oh
dude.
my, it was a good like 5 minutes of him like, I can't breathe, I can't see, whatever.
Dude,
I'm
like-
dude, I totally wish that was on camera. That would have been so good.
Dude, it was like
It'd be gold.
I could feel it literally go into my brain and fucking shut down the first half of my brain completely. Like I couldn't, like, it was awful. And I was like, it would have been great to have, but I was like, there's no fucking way everybody's doing this on the Rogan podcast. They did not fucking shut. Like my eyes were watering because I got too close. I was like, I feel like I just went through fucking in basic. They make you go through the fucking gas chamber.
Yeah.
Like it was that times 10. I'm blowing snot out my fucking nose. Like my sinuses were so clear. I could
Yeah.
fucking smell fucking whatever was
Daisies
going on.
next door.
I can smell the flowers blooming in California, dude. Like,
Dude, I used them on Friday, and I had like 8 plates aside on the leg press, which is a pretty good amount for that leg press. And I did a set with them, right? And I was going to do my back off without, because you don't want to use them for every set,
Right.
Because it kind of burns you out, or whatever, and it's not good for you. But for your big working sets, it's good. So I did a set with them. I got 20 reps with 8 plates. I was like, this is good, and nice controlled reps, not fast, just nice, good reps. And it was tough, but I got it. And I tried to do them without it. I got to like 10 or 11. I started failing, dude. I was
Really?
like, holy shit. So it made that's a big difference. Like 8 or 9 reps
when you're
on the
talking that
end.
many weight, yeah.
Yeah. On the end of your set. Like that's a big difference.
Is it an energy thing? Is that
No, it's smelling salts. Like they crack them and they throw
I
them.
understand what they are, but why?
I have no idea why that worked. It damn near killed
I
me.
think-
When I did that, I was not ready to lift anything. I was literally tearing up, blowing
Yeah.
snot out my nose for fucking 5 minutes.
It's like ammonia, I'm pretty sure. And I think
It
it's
is
like
ammonia.
I think it's cues like an adrenaline thing, but I'm not mistaking. Yeah, by releasing ammonia gas when inhaled, which irritates the nasal membranes, triggering a reflex that causes you to breathe deeply and rapidly, therefore increasing oxygen flow to the brain and potentially restoring consensuous if you're or consciousness. Sorry, I can't read. If you fainted, so you're gonna get more. I think it's like a triggers like an adrenal response too. If I'm,
I mean, if I did it right, I probably would have had a different response. But I literally had nose in the fucking bottle,
Oh,
eyes
Jesus.
within an inch of the opening.
Oh, no.
And when I inhaled, I took every ounce that I could get. Like, it was fucking awful. And I was like, I want everybody to do this on the podcast. It'd be fucking hilarious. I was like, I should get one of these and then just not tell anybody how fucking awful it is.
Oh, and
It's
just let
like-
them smell it.
But it's funny because Rogan does it. Rogan will do it. He's like, do it again. And the guys are like, you're fucking crazy, bro. And I'm like, yeah, you are fucking crazy, especially if you do it like this.
it's like one of those things though, like where. Like it's like how much can you take? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we used to sit around. This is gonna sound stupid. We used to take the shot collar, like dog collar. We'd say who can hold it the longest.
Yes.
Give me yeah.
See how far you can get.
Why the
how
fuck
to-
did we hold this thing? It's so stupid. But it's
Yeah.
like, I can hold it. I can't hold it anymore.
Yeah,
Fuck.
you want to see what level you can
Yeah.
take it up to.
Exactly.
Yeah, for
yeah.
sure.
And that's like, I don't know, that's like part of being a man. No woman would ever do that.
No, my wife would gladly take part in the button pushing.
Yeah.
like when we got the dogs collars, like so that they could go like up to however far away from the property without putting a fence in the ground. Like it just works off of a tower. So I had to like go out and test how far it would, before it would start to beep. And then once we did that, like then I had to figure out how strong it was because my dogs aren't little. So I was like, well, let me just see what the max is. Like, is it gonna kill them? Dude, it fucking damn near shut me down. Like
Dude, those things are no
I
joke.
was
Yeah.
like, it was like,
You feel like you're
and I was like,
paralyzed. Yeah.
fuck, dude, if my dogs run through that fucking shit, like they can keep going.
Yeah.
Like fucking go for it. Like I am not. Once that happened to me, I did not want to test it anymore. I was like, I'm good.
Dude, my neighbors and we had the same one, so they would overlap. So our dogs would go back and forth between each other.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, well, yes, I didn't give a shit, but he did. Like, it wasn't even him; it was his fucking bitch wife. Is what it was. But so she would get pissed, like, "Oh, their dog's shitting in our yard again." Like, you have 2 fucking dogs, you give a fuck about my dog shitting in your yard, whatever. So he kept having to come over and say shit to me. This is so funny. So he said something to me one time, "Hey man, can you do something, whatever?" And then I knew it was happening still, and I honestly, I really didn't give a fuck because this dude is kind of like a pussy when it comes to it. But then the wife, I hate the wife. So he comes over, and it's Brown's Day, Sunday, whatever. And I could see she's like pissed, and he's walking over to me, and he's like needs to make it look like he's yelling at me about this shit. So he's like, "Man, how fucked up are the Browns?" This dude never talks to me about the Browns. He's like, "Yeah, they suck, dude. Deshaun Watson absolutely blows," and I can tell he's like putting this big animation on for his wife. She can't hear what he's talking about. So he went home and was like, "Yeah, I fucking told him." Yeah. Okay. It was so funny though.
We do the strangest things to get laid.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't out him for it, but I was like, I'm not, you
Yeah.
bought the same dog thing as mine. I'm not going to turn my radius way down. You turn yours down, asshole.
Yeah, it was what it is. Shit happens.
Yeah. Let your dog shit in my yard. I don't care. Whatever.
I'll fucking mow it.
Neighbor will mow it. Oh, is he the neighbor that's mowing?
Yeah, no, other neighbor. Yeah. The one neighbor I like a lot. The other one I do not like. It's very funny. Yeah. So they're divorced. So she was fucking like half the neighborhood. But
Oh, Jesus. That's
Yeah.
interesting.
Dude, it was bad. Dude, this dude was picking her up in the middle of the night on the motorcycle and like taking her out or whatever. Oh, he like walked in on on them on a date and shit, dude. She got 4 kids with them, married.
Oh man.
Hoes ain't loyal, man.
What neighborhood for Evan?
Yeah, we're over in
I don't want any of that.
Westfield Lakes, Evan. Yeah, I'll tell you.
Nothing that one.
Dude, it was pretty embarrassing, man. I'll tell you what.
All right, Evan. So you want to beat kids? What else?
Oh
what other
my
goals do you
Yeah, I
have?
forgot we were talking about Evan beating kids.
No, I am not beating anyone's kid.
Oh, but I was going to tell you about this to circle back around. I think that like it's okay to have preferences, right? Like I don't want to date a girl with kids. I don't want to date this or whatever. But the more preferences you have, the uglier the chick's going to be. All right.
Yes.
And that's how that's going to go. And also like you have to be the type of guy, like you better be 6 foot, you better make 6 figures, you better have a excellent physique and be, whatever, tolerable to a lot of this other shit. Otherwise you can't command a chick that.
I think you definitely have to be honest with yourself.
Yeah.
And I've seen that where a lot of guys, when they're like going through a divorce or going through a breakup, and they're like, I'm gonna get a girl who hunts, who eats meat, who fucking makes $100,000 a year, who works out 5 days a week. I'm like, bro, you don't even do any of that.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? What woman? If
You're looking
a
for a
chick that
fucking
does all
unicorn.
of that,
Yeah.
bro, and you don't do any of that, like, what the fuck makes you think that that's what you deserve?
You work at
Like,
McDonald's and you
yeah.
fucking
Like,
Yeah.
bro, yeah, it's so funny though when people get, I'm gonna find the best of the best. I'm gonna do so much better than I have now. Like me, I know I'm not gonna do any better than I have now. I'm fucking 42 years old. My wife's 31. Like, I just gotta fucking deal with accepting. I accept the fact that my wife is hot, and I gotta deal with some fucking, wife shit once in a while.
Did you ever hear the thing where they say you can have two of the three, and it's hot, single, and nice. So
Yeah.
they'll either be nice and single, but then they're not hot. Or they're single and hot, but they're not nice. So you have to
Do you
have.
remember the crazy hot matrix?
Yes,
Is
yes,
that what
yes.
you're talking about? Yeah,
Perfect,
that's
yeah.
fucking hilarious.
Well, and
And this
Hairdressers
is a fucking
girls' name.
unicorn.
Yeah. Well, and here's the thing too: is even if you are,
She's not a girl, she's a dude.
yeah. Well, even if you do make all this money where it doesn't matter or whatever anymore, then they don't really like you.
Yeah,
They're
they like
just-
the money.
They're like you. They're with you for what you can provide for them, and which I think all women are with men for in some semblance what they can provide for them, because women do not want to provide necessarily. They want to be taken care of, which is fine. I think that's okay. But then when you're picking, you have to pick the girl that is going to also give something back in the relationship. And some girls just think like, oh, if I provide, like if I'm like, man needs to provide for me, I don't have to do shit. You know what I mean? I just hot and I just show up. That's all I have to do. And that doesn't work either.
Yeah,
So
100%.
you have to have
One
both.
of the things I do, like when I meet a new female person, is I kind of go through that just to hear, like, what are they looking for, right? And literally 9 out of 10, like they immediately go to like the physical, which is fine. Like we have eyeballs, and that's the first
100%.
sensation, right, that you see. But it's always, they go to height, and then it's,
money.
it's not really money,
Really?
actually.
Oh,
No,
that's
like it's the physical features of height, beard, tattoos, and then stability and some other things like that. But that's why, like, so many, you hear about so many of these toxic relationships and trauma bonds, because they focus on these things that really don't have much to do with money. It probably has more to do with like a false sense of stability, right? It's why felons are popular in certain groups, because they just kind of see that as, oh, that's the alpha, that's what I'm attracted to.
Yeah.
Like that sort of thing. And then there's a certain group that, like, they definitely, like, it's got to drive, a Benz or a BMW or something like that, especially you go into places like LA. And
I was just going to say
Which is
that.
funny though, because I don't remember what podcast it was on, but they were having this conversation. They're like, in no world is that ever like a man's ever saying.
Yeah, we
that.
don't ever give a shit if a chick is rich or not.
No, not at all.
None of that ever. Like, I don't care if they make great money. I don't care. Like, none of that matters.
I
Honestly,
actually-
what do you want from a woman? I want a woman who will support me, who will fucking spend less time fighting than she does having fun with me, and that's really about it. Like, and doesn't give me shit for the things that I like to do, like the fact that I like to have crazy hobbies, that I like to be adventurous, and I want somebody that wants to travel and do those stuff with me. And my wife, she definitely packs the punch. So I'm lucky.
I would say even on the other end of the spectrum, I think if you're a woman and you make too much money, that could be a turnoff. Because if you're like, I wouldn't really care so much if my wife made more money than me. But the problem is are you going to try to be the man in the relationship and call the shots? And I think that most men, I'm pretty successful, but if she was ultra successful and she's making, whatever, millions of dollars or whatever, like, is that going to mean you're going to want to order, like, be the final call? You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
and
Do
I think that's
lose
some.
my-
I think there's
my man
other
token,
parts of that.
you know?
There's other parts of that too, though. Like,
I was in a relationship like that with the anesthesiologist. I dated a girl who was an anesthesiologist making $300,000-$400,000 a year, and
Should have just let her boss you around.
she well at
I
first
couldn't do it, dude.
no at first it was fine. We all made equal choices and all that stuff. But then after like 2 or 3 weeks in, she's like, "I want you at my house at this time. Can you make me dinner?
Yeah.
I'm going to be home at this time." And I at the time I was just starting in my career. I was like 23. She was like 31. She was quite a few years older than me. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm about to get off work. I'm gonna go to the gym work. I'm not gonna go to her house in Westlake and fucking make her dinner.
Where at in Westlake?
No, but you say that, but listen, now all of a sudden, you like to go to the gym? No, I don't want you going to the gym no more.
Yeah.
These are your friends that you've been around? I don't like you hanging out with those friends. Those are single guy friends. You need to find new friends.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you start to get cut off of all the things you like to do because they're the ones calling the shots. You know what I mean?
That's a problem.
And that's an issue. There's no money in the world worth that to me. You know, my freedom and flexibility and the things I like to do are worth more than, whatever, $400,000 a year to me. So
Yeah, 100% in that point.
yeah.
But what if it was $5 million a year?
That's like you get married and then you get divorced. Like, how long do I have to be married before I can get a settlement?
10 years.
I need some
10 years
alimony.
plus.
Yeah. I don't think I could give up 10 years.
I don't think. I mean, at that point, I would just make her gift me a bunch of shit over the first 2 years that I would get to keep no matter what, and I'd be happy.
Yeah.
Like, oh, thanks for gifting me this fucking beautiful house on 250 acres out in the middle of the woods with no electricity that I'll never want to visit.
This just turned into a girls' night podcast.
Yeah.
It just fucking did.
No, dude. I think that would be a really interesting podcast. Though, is like navigating dating as a man today. You know what I mean? Because
it's definitely. We tried to kind of discuss it a little bit, but I don't think everybody was quite as honest about it because. You hear people talk about here's the other thing too. I'm a strong believer in the fact that you have to be very good at being alone and comfortable being alone before you should even be dating.
I agree.
Because I've seen it so many times. I had a friend, one of my best friends, consider him a brother. I remember when he broke up with this girl, he broke up with this girl 4 times. They were just toxic together. And it was literally the 5th time, I was like, dude, you need to just stay at my house. Cause obviously you can't be alone. You keep calling her fucking, and then you're back into a relationship that you don't want to be in. Just stay at my house for fucking 10 days, 2 weeks, whatever. We'll fucking play video games. We'll fucking drink, whatever. It doesn't matter. I was 22, 23 at the time. But some people are such in a hurry to get into another relationship. And it's dude, you need to just enjoy being single. Quit saying no to shit when a group of people want to go travel to a different country or you want to fucking go on a road trip. Do that shit.
Yeah.
And then you'll find somebody along the way and through your travels that'll match up to you. But if you're out there just steady looking all the time and you're so afraid of being alone, and you're so worried about finding this perfect person, guarantee you're going to find the wrong fucking person and you're going to be so miserable.
And alongside that a little bit, one of the worst things you could do is if you like a girl as a guy is start to be obsessed with her and just start doing everything with her. And because women don't want that either. They don't want, especially at the beginning, they don't want to be smothered. They don't want to be, texted 24/7 every single day. Don't give up your identity as a person, because if they do like you, that's why they liked you, was because of who you are,
Well, and the other thing too is once you start making those sacrifices, you think you're doing it just to be nice and it's not that big of a deal. And guys are probably really hey, you know what? I don't need to go over there and do that with my buddies tonight. It's no big deal. Let's go hang out. At the beginning of the relationship, it's really easy to do that because it's new, it's fun. But then, all right, we've been together for a couple of years. I'm gonna go out to my buddy's house. No,
you never did that before. You set the precedent.
You fucked it up. You
get that post-nut clarity sometimes too. You ever have that? Where you're man, I'll do anything to get with this girl. And you sleep with her, man, this girl's kind of a bitch.
Well, you mentioned something.
Post-nut clarity is a real thing.
PNC. Oh, that's what PNC stands for. You can
Yeah,
go
it's
to
not
a
the
place.
bank.
That's what that is. Okay. No, you scratched the surface on something there. That same observation I've made a lot of my friends too, and that it's somewhere in between. You're perfectly comfortable and you're alone. You're doing your things. You're going to the gym. You're just active and you're just doing shit. And then you attract somebody. And then your behaviors change. So not from the point of then later you have to justify it when you want to pick those back up, but people lose sight of all right, look, idiot, the things that were attractive to this person were the things you used to do. You used to do all these things. You used to go hunt. You used to go to the gym. You used to, go help old ladies with grocery, whatever the fuck it is.
Right, but
and then you change, and there's a little bit of a trap in that because then women, they do want to change us a little bit because they want to mold you into these other things, and not maniacally, but just you're now dating, so
Bro,
we're not.
that's every woman's thing ever. I can change him. You know what I mean? Like that's they do that all the time. It's like, I like these things, but
whether it's intentional or not, but even if it's things like like we used to go out to the bars, you hear that a lot, like with married couples. Oh, he used to take me out dancing all the time. Now we don't even do that. It's like, well, yeah, because you guys want to sit home, you want to eat a big meal, then you want to watch a movie, and then you 10 years in, it's like, well, yeah, she just doesn't find me attractive anymore. It's like, well, yeah, it probably started 6 months in because you stopped doing all the shit that she found attractive in the first place. So don't change your shit. Just keep doing the same shit.
It'd be you, and that's it. And if you can't function as individuals, then you're never going to work together. You have to be individuals that complement each other, but not you can't lose your identity.
Right. Very much.
It's
so.
huge.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to definitely have a podcast on that. I think for the time being, though, we're going to call this one a night. You guys got anything else?
I know nothing.
Didn't you guys want to talk about like 2025 goals and stuff?
Well, we can
like
do that starting the next one.
I think we did do that another one.
Yeah, the next one.
2025 goals. Fucking.
There's a lot of them. Well,
we've already gone on for 3 hours.
yeah.
3 hours. Can we at least get one out of everybody and finish with that?
Yeah, if we can do that. Let's start with you then.
Fuck.
You're the one.
All right. Okay. Professional goal. This podcast and our corresponding YouTube channels, 1 million followers. That's what I'm after.
That'd be sweet.
That's my goal. And if I die trying, so we need your help out there. You guys need to like. You need to subscribe. You need to tell your friends. You need to call your sister and tell her about Evan, but then also tell her about this podcast. 1 million. We need to get to 1 million. That's what I want.
Okay. My goal this year, this will be a personal one because you gave a professional one. So I want to earn an IFBB Pro card. That's like the goal. So I'm going to do my very first national show.
Have you decided on a show that you're going to do yet?
We're still between either North Americans or Nationals. So it's either going to be North Americans in Pittsburgh or Nationals in Austin.
Dude, we should, whatever one you decide, we should 100% do a fucking go to work with him.
Bro, I love it.
100%.
Yeah, just follow him around the whole weekend, like while he gets tan, while he gets fucking
Dude, that'd be
pumps in,
sweet,
like,
actually. That would be cool for me because I'll get like a documentation of like
like the
I'll be
whole
doing my
fucking
photos.
weekend. That'd be fucking sweet.
I found
I honestly,
we could even do like leading the 2 weeks up, like your workouts in the gym and stuff like that, and like do like, hey, the last 2 weeks leading up to the.
would you to see the body transformation too? We can even maybe work it in with like the warehousing, like do like a little check in beforehand or something.
Yeah,
like
100%.
But
I
yeah,
like Austin.
Yeah, Austin, dude, Austin's so much fun.
I like Austin.
It's like Vegas. What happens there just stays. And all. But yeah, or actually, it might be in Dallas. I could be wrong on that, but whatever. Either way, Texas is sweet. So, but yeah, the way the body changes in the first 2 weeks or the last 2 weeks is pretty crazy. Also, when you go there and like see a national show is like the closest thing to a pro show. Like, so the way that's put on, the lighting, the venue, like it's all like class act,
yeah,
great
sure.
shit. And the people that show up there are freaks, bro. So like, if I lose, I mean, these dudes are going to be crazy. And if I win, I'm going to beat some crazy ass dudes too.
Yeah,
so.
you get the fucking that would be awesome, dude. We could definitely do that.
And I compete in the largest category too. So only thing bigger than me, I'll be probably a heavyweight. I might end up being a super. Super is like the biggest of the biggest guys on the planet that are amateur still. So the heavies are like one weight class underneath. So I don't know if I'll make that or not. So we're kind of on the border, but
that's fucking sweet. Yeah, that'd be a fucking hell of a fucking show that we could put together. There's not much on that. I don't think that it's out there unless you're like fucking somebody famous and you have whatever. But that'd be a great time.
You have some good tags and stuff too. Like if we do something like that, I might be able to get like some of the IPB Pro League people and stuff to share it.
Yeah, might get yourself a sponsor or something too.
Well, we just have to
help the show.
We have to intentionally, casually just bump into them along the way too. That makes it a lot easier to tag them and then pull them in to collaborate on the video. So. Yeah.
And the good thing is I actually have some pretty good connections when it comes to that stuff too. So like I know a lot of like the high level people that will be there and stuff. And
yeah, because it'd be even before that. Like I was just thinking as you were saying that, like even like meetings things that you do with your coach and stuff like that. Like it'd be good to catch that on video when he's telling you that you're a fucking pussy and you're not fucking dieting hard enough. Or
Fuck
whatever.
Yeah, text message proof right here.
Yeah, that's like great content to
Do you
have
guys
put together.
do you do the because he's out of state, right?
Yeah, he's in Pittsburgh. Yeah.
So do you guys? Is it over Zoom
So I mean,
or just FaceTime?
My relationship with my coach is a little bit different. I literally text him every single day. So we but we're good buddies too. Not all of his clients does he do that with, just like his like high level guys. So, but I do a check-in via email every week. So he'll send me like email instruction back or whatever, and everything has to be perfect, and the lighting has to be perfect. All this whole thing. But once we get closer to the show, especially like a few days out, he'll be staying with me in like an Airbnb or something. So, so he'll like look at me in person. He'll tell me what to do in person and all that kind of stuff. So that's actually very interesting.
Well,
And-
you'll probably meet with him beforehand in person though too, whether it's to go up to Pittsburgh. or
yeah, I'll
something
probably
like that.
drive out to Pittsburgh probably like a week out or 2 weeks out, whatever, to see how he looks, or to have him take a look at me in person.
Yeah.
The other thing too is like the peak process is crazy. Like the whole like eating a shitload of food and like the way your body changes, and you can literally like from meal to meal sometimes see your body change. You know, like, oh shoot, he looks flat, which is basically like deflated look, and then he needs more carbs, he needs more water, he needs more salt, whatever, and potassium. You do all these things to make the body react, and then boom, all of a sudden, holy shit, you look peeled and ripped. So you go from looking like flat, deflated to like full and bursting in like a matter of hours.
That's crazy.
It's wild. Yeah. And just the stuff that you have to eat, like really, like sometimes people will be like, here's a burger and a fry. And you're like, holy shit, you're eating Five Guys right now? Like, yeah, that's what it needs. Or they might be like, no, we're just going to go cream of rice, which is the baby food stuff. Or they might be like, and you need a muffin right now or something, depends. The different food is used as tools. It's pretty wild. So
Awesome, dude.
check
Yeah,
it out.
we'll have to definitely do that. Well, that's a fucking huge goal, man. All right, what about you, Evan?
My goal is just to grow my photography business, and I can follow him around doing
great.
his photos.
That'd be good for you.
like normal.
Yeah, good for
I mean,
you.
the nice thing about that too is like when you talk about photography business, like I mean, you could be doing photography like right now, like taking photos of us and stuff down here, and just doing random stuff. Like that's a huge opportunity to grow in that market. But there's always stuff. Everybody wants photos taken.
Yes, exactly.
Like, you know.
And any business. I've literally gone up to a special event, and I just brought my camera just for the hell of it, and they're like, "You're a photographer?" One of our photographers called off sick. Do you mind taking some photos? Can we see your work beforehand? So I bring up my Instagram, show them a few photos, and they're like, "What do you charge?" We want to know before we get you under. I'm like, "Oh, well, what do you normally pay?" And I'm like, they're like, $250. I'm like, for a special event, I'll do by project. I'll do a $1,500 for the whole day, and I've done it multiple times this past summer like that.
Yeah, but I mean, even still, like with getting attention to yourself, like you could easily just be like, "Hey, I'd be willing to do like a photo shoot for you." Like you did the one with my wife, that turned out fucking amazing.
Oh yeah,
I saw it. It was pretty cool.
yeah.
You do a lot with Vershka too.
Oh yeah, Vershka I like her because she's easy to work with. It's fun. She's like when it comes to photographers.
But like if you started putting up like Instagram things, it was like, "Hey, looking for models,
Yeah.
men,
Oh, yeah.
women, whatever." Just you would get a bunch.
Oh, yeah.
You know
And
what
I
mean?
do a
People
bunch
that
of
just
free-
want that free, like that free.
Yeah.
They just
Or
want
even,
those
like,
3 or 4 photos.
Extremely discounted
Yeah.
pricing. Or
Oh,
something,
yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Whatever, that
And
way you cover your time a little
And
bit.
I do that.
Yeah.
I do a lot of free photo shoots for family, friends, even people I don't know.
Yeah.
And I like to try out new things, new people, all
You
that
just gotta
stuff.
get better at marketing.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Do-
That's like,
what I would do is I would do like, all right, I'll give you a free one, but just refer me 3 people.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
something like that. And I'll give you free.
That's smart.
yeah, and I've done that before, and it just again building. I'm like because I like to keep it as a business, but also as a hobby. I don't want to grow to the point because I have friends that have been in the photography for business for almost 15, 20 years, and they've lost the spark. They used to love doing photography. Now they're like, if I came up and I ask them a question, they're like, "Kevin, please don't ask me a question." I had to deal with like 4 different clients with other projects and stuff. So I'm just like trying to weigh it. The point where it's still a profitable job, but also I like doing it. That's what I'm trying to do right now. My full-time job, I like doing that one right now, but this one, I'm trying to grow to the point where I make maybe a few $1,000 a month to that point.
Yeah, for sure.
makes
dude.
sense.
Well, I'll finish it off. For me,
Yeah.
it's pretty simple. I want to get to 100 podcasts. I think this will be number 15 or 16. So definitely want to get to 100 by the end of the year. And my goals aren't quite as lofty when it comes to followers. Between all our social media accounts, I would love to get to just 200,000 followers. I think that would be fucking
that's
huge.
good, yeah.
And you know, if we end up generating some income, that'd be sweet as well. But more than anything, I just want to generate more guests. Like the more people that we could have on, the more interesting things that we could talk about, the better. So you know, if anybody made it this long or this comes up in a short, like, subscribe, follow, please share it. If you're a man out there and you just want to talk about something, whether it's, you know, like we talked about tonight, child discipline, being a single father, the job that you do, you know, visions or goals that you have for yourself, or even like, you know, journeys that you're on and you're traveling on and that you've made to become successful in whatever it is you do, we'd love to have you on for any reason at all, just to sit and talk and just bullshit and be men, and anything that we can do to help somebody grow, get better, that'd be awesome. So yeah, shout out to everybody for coming out tonight. Appreciate you guys.
Oh, no problem.
And good night, everybody.
Protection for vibrant nights in